Hello!
Hey!
Welcome everybody
Hello!
to another episode of Awakened Pixels, the old school RPG, TTRPG. Um, hey, if you haven't seen this before, we play a game where everybody is NPCs in a fantasy video game world that is very bad and very glitchy, and is only getting glitchier and more terrible. Say hello to my amazing players. Say hi, amazing players. And
Hello!
we are blessed with the presence of Spooks this week as our guest. Spooks, hello. Welcome to the
Hello!
stream. So
Very happy
wonderful
to
to
be
have you.
here.
I'm really looking forward to your character in this world. Um, but yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. We begin, as we always do, looking over the wasteland stretch of the Blightlands of Phantasria, and where it always stands, the Doomhold that looks over this monstrous territory, far away from any forces of good or justice. And in a turn of events, entering the grand throne room, the throne of the Vile Lord. The Vile Lord himself, festooned in a beautiful high collar and an amazing cape. His anime boy face set and looking very brooding, his long, luxurious hair flowing behind him as he goes. He opens up the doors to this room, ready to sit upon his throne, when he suddenly freezes in place as he notices that there is someone else sitting on his throne, the Vile Lord's throne. It is none other than his second in command, the Wicked Witch, who is donned in her dark shades, her foul rags, her witch outfit. And the Vile Lord takes a second, clicks his tongue, and says, "You have about 5 seconds before I obliterate the entire area around you." And the Wicked Witch says to him, "My lord, I have done my best to hold still my tongue." Oh, is that what you've been doing this entire time? But I cannot go on any longer watching you waste time and resources when there is a dire threat that threatens to ruin everything. Everything you and I have worked for this entire time. The Vile Lord says, "My dear Wicked Witch, what makes you think everything isn't going according to plan? You blind fool! Nothing's going according to plan! This foul energy, this mire is spreading and only growing across the lands, twisting our world. Our plan was conquest, and this is disintegration. There is no victory to be found if this mire is left unchecked." The Vile Lord chuckles, and he says, "I just heard back from our little party that was sent out to retrieve the dog and the fairy. Apparently Tinsel is missing in action and our forces failed. So, I have things I need to get to right now, Wicked Witch, so take your bony keister off of my throne." The Wicked Witch sits back ever so slightly, shadow covering her face, and she says, "My lord, I can no longer be counted as your loyal servant." And she rises slowly from the throne, shadows clinging to her as she does, a mote of arcane energy sparking around her hands. And the Vile Lord kind of rolls his eyes at this and he says, "Well, here we go, I guess." And with a sudden crack and boom, a gigantic lightning bolt fires from the Wicked Witch's hands, soaring and crackling across the throne room, and it slams into the Vile Lord. Tiles and pillars explode from the sheer impact, the power and force of this magic that the Wicked Witch is conjuring. And then, as the dust settles, and as the lightning suddenly stops, we see that the Vile Lord has in front of him a truly ridiculously long katana that he is holding out in a defensive gesture in front of him, glowing white hot with the arcane energies of the Wicked Witch's spells. And he smiles a devilish smile, and he says, "Really, Is that all you've got, subordinate? And then there is a sudden explosion. Spells being fired off left and right. Fireballs and acid splashes and explosions. The entire throne room is being leveled and decimated. We quickly see outside there are a couple of guards who kind of notice the shaking and rumbling happening in the throne room behind them. They exchange a worried glance and they just look forward and just keep to their duty, not worrying about what is happening in there. And the Wicked Witch is thrown back against the wall, throwing more spells. We see damage numbers springing up into the air from both the Vile Lord and the Wicked Witch. Just absurd damage numbers from the high-powered magic that they are both flinging back and forth. And there is a moment soon of silence. And energy flashing through the air, smoke everywhere, completely destroyed tiling litters the room. And the Vile Lord wipes away some pixelated blood from the edge of his mouth, and he says, "Really now, what was your plan here? I'm the final boss of this game. I have so many forms, and you are just a warm-up. What do you expect to accomplish here, Wicked Witch? Why don't you fill me in?" And the Wicked Witch, panting heavily, says, "I just knew that you would not let me leave quietly, oh vile one. So your plan was to what? Be obliterated by me, and that's how you're going to leave this place?" And she says in response, "It just so happens that I have a plan that will get me out of this situation, my lord." And he says, "And what plan is that? I am moments away from utterly obliterating you from the realm, Wicked Witch, and it's not even your turn. So what exactly are you going to do right now?" And she says, "I don't need it to be my turn. When I go down, I get one free teleport before I die." And the Vile Lord says, "What? What OP nonsense is this? I don't get anything like that. Why do you get that? That's ridiculous. You know what? Bye!" Boom! And with a final massive explosion, the Vile Lord sends up these green flames that envelop the Wicked Witch. We see a silhouette of her disappearing into the smoke, and then, as there is sudden silence that fills the room, we only hear the cackling of the Wicked Witch, who has now safely absconded far away from this place. And the Vile Lord, looking extremely cross, stomps over through the rubble, goes back to what remains of his blasted throne, throws up his, beautiful, luxurious long hair to the side, and takes a seat. And then he smiles. Back with our heroes, Stoobs and Rosalind. You are currently on a gnomish ship recently built on the Isles of Faerun, an island that has now been lost forever to the Maya, as it was very close to the Maya Tempest, the heart of the energy that is affecting this world. You have been confronted by an enemy ship, the Dread Ship, as the gnomes call it. A legendary ship of undead warriors that was hounding them before the Lightsworn heroes were able to take it out and hijack it. But the Lightsworn heroes no longer are the ones helming this ship. Indeed, Rosalind, as you look through the spyglass that the captain, the mayor, I should say, handed to you, you see that the people who are running this ship are none other than the fairies of your home, except now with very, very cool, dark, very hot topic outfits and makeup going on. Something has changed, and you do not have the answers to explain what it is. What's everybody doing?
Well, I'm really glad they're alive, but I have a bigger issue in the fact that I'm not gonna fit in anymore, and that's a problem for me, because I was really popular before. I need, black clothing, stat.
We can't change our clothes, remember?
I can just hold it over me! I can just hold it right here! So it'll look like I'm wearing it.
Do you want the boob armor?
No,
I mean,
want the
that's
boob
an
armor.
option.
Who looks the scariest on the ship? Who has the coolest outfit right now?
The coolest outfit is definitely this lady-looking fairy who has her wings have changed from the sort of typical insectoid gossamer to this sort of twisted fusion between a bat and a stained glass window. Very cool looking. She has them kind of unfurled at all times, and she has this massive tricorn hat that's kind of been torn and ripped at various places. She's wearing 2 eye patches, one on top of the other, and somehow she manages to pull it off. It's she's quite a commanding presence.
Okay, this is a problem. She has 2 eye patches. 2. I have 0.
Yeah, but like you have bombs, and that's like metal as hell.
Oh.
You hear Arvat, the blind helmsman of the ship, and your friend who you helped out earlier, with his little gnomish form. He kind of like leans over your direction. He says, "So, are we about to get destroyed by the dread ship or not? I can't quite understand the situation right now."
Okay, well, so here's the thing. My popularity is about to be destroyed by this dread ship, and that's way more important to me than my life, okay?
Okay. Last time the dread ship was here, they obliterated our last ship. But all right, I'll take your word for
Very
it.
good point. Can you flag them down? Can you tell them we're not a threat, or that we're here to help?
But I'm gonna look so lame. They're so metal now, and I'm so pink.
I mean, there is such a thing as like pastel punk, you know, like pastel goth or whatever.
But I.
A gnome comes up to you, Ralston, and says, "I got some pitch from below that we used to sort of seal up any leaks."
Yeah, just do like some like cool war paint.
Okay, yeah, totally. Just give me that. Okay.
It's gonna be gross though.
No, this smells really. Bleh. Okay.
You start covering it, your clothes and your face. You start adorning yourself, trying to make yourself look better. Why don't you go ahead and roll whatever you think is appropriate for this particular action.
Flashy?
Is this flashy?
Honestly,
I
I feel like in the moment you are being quite careful to fit in.
Ooh.
Oh no!
Which is a wonderful reflection of sort of the anxiety you're feeling right now.
Yeah, that's fine. -2.
Two. You look at her, Stoobs. It's a bit of a mess, kind of a monster from the Dark Lagoon kind of look she's got going on. It's not great.
This is cool. This is really cool, right? This is cool.
You see a bit just kind of blop off of her pointed ears and just splat onto the deck.
Maybe they can give you some pointers or so. It's like,
If they have to give me pointers, then I'm cool.
I think you're cool.
Stoops, that doesn't matter. It matters what the general consensus is. One person thinking I'm cool doesn't make me popular. It means I have a
Arvat
friend.
thinks you're cool. Obo thinks you're cool.
You hear a little badger go, meow.
Thank you.
At this time, the mayor comes up to you both, quite winded from commanding the various helms gnomes on the deck, and says, "I don't mean to interrupt, but we have a dread ship barreling down on us. Is there any plan that anybody has? Because right now, our only plan is flat cannon, and I don't know how well it's going to work on a ghost ship."
No, I'm not gonna blow up my family and friends.
Wait, they're your friends?
Yeah.
Can you talk to them, please?
That's the fairies from the island.
What?
I don't know. Have they been affected by the mire? Is this part of it?
Oh, so much cooler now. Oh, fine. Okay,
Uh.
it's fine. I look on my face, which is super metal. I'm scary too now. It's fine. Do you have like something to yell into so I can say hi to them? How do you communicate through other ships?
A gnome very quickly pulls on a rope, and quickly a massive kind of horn is swung your way from somewhere in the contraptions that the gnomes have set up on this ship, and they just yell, "You can yell in that if you want."
Okay, yeah, I'll yell into there. Oh, I need like a new cool voice. Hey, Tinsel, talk. How do you talk?
Tinsel kind of looks over there and he goes, you hear him kind of like echoing in his helmet. He says, I don't really know how I talk.
I don't really know how I talk.
Think of your gloom voice.
I don't know how they did that. That was like a voice module. I don't get that.
It all comes from the lower chest. That's where you
No
gotta get it from.
chest.
Yeah.
No chest.
Do you have an ability called Barbaric Yorp by any chance?
What? No.
Okay, never
no.
mind then. That's something I
I
can.
have like pixie dust as my ability. What? Okay. Okay. Ugh. I'm cool. I'm super cool. Okay. Hello.
You kind of yell it over to the dreadship, and you kind of double check with the spyglass to see how they're reacting. And it seems like whatever fairy sorceries they were using to initiate another tsunami wave to obliterate you is temporarily paused. And very quickly, the extremely cool looking captain-like figure kind of turns around, makes a really just awesome, half-hearted yet very commanding motion with her hand, and very quickly the fairies sort of fly into position, and the dreadship suddenly accelerates with some kind of magical wind and starts coming straight for you. And the mayor's like, "They're not going to ram us, are they? It looks like they're going to ram us."
It's Rosalind! It's Rosalind! It's Rosalind! Hi!
And the dreadship comes closer and closer, and then suddenly two sails flip out from the side, and it does an amazing swerve in the water and lands directly side by you, drenching all of you in water in the process.
They're really good at parallel parking.
Really? Oh no! Wait, water's gonna ruin my.
And there is a sort of dread aura and a mysterious mist that forever shrouds the dreadship, and you hear a chain rattling, and then suddenly a drawbridge, tick, 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 bam, slams onto the deck of your ship, and immediately a fairy pirate raid party is there, led by their captain, and you hear her stomp across the drawbridge. You notice she's wearing some very fashionable high-heeled boots, flanked by some other fairies. And she comes over to you, raises her eyes up, and you can see just below the tricorn helmet, covered in just really well done makeup, you recognize this person, Rosalind. This is somebody known as Foxglove, and she was a friend of yours, you would say. It's hard to really define relationships compared to then to now, because back then it was really a whole lot of not much and just interpreting things certain ways. But you remember Foxglove just like this cool, very normal seeming fairy. She has since changed.
Hey.
And she stomps up to you and she says, "Rosalind, I can't believe we found you. The prodigal fairy returns after all, huh?"
Yeah, I've been exploring caves, metal. I'm part of a guild now, Sisters of Blood.
Oh, wow, that sounds pretty impressive. Well, hey, why don't you ditch these people and come with your kind?
Well, I'm on a quest to find the orbs of blood. Yeah, all the orbs of dark blood and coolness.
Why are you looking for the orbs of blood?
Actually, I wasn't really paying attention on why we're supposed to collect all of them. I mean, Stoops, why are you looking for the orbs?
We're looking for the elemental orbs because that's what the Lightsworn Heroes do, and we're trying to fix what the Lightsworn Heroes couldn't fix.
Oh no, that's lame. We're just, we're getting the orbs of blood to create a blood golem monster dragon of the realms and use it to look cool.
Rosalind, you just said all the right words. Right, let's get you home. And she puts a hand on your shoulder. You hear just a splat from the pitch, and she kind of wipes it away, and then kind of beckons you to follow her across to the fairies, leaving everybody else behind.
Well, I have to keep looking for the orbs of blood, so I just can't leave. But if I could see my friends and my hold on one second. If I could see my friends and my family first, that would be cool.
Captain, the fairy known as Foxglove kind of like looks down for a second and says, "Yeah, about that. So, I don't know if you've noticed, but Faerun is not what it used to be. It's a
Yeah, no,
little
Fear's dead. Wait, I thought everyone was here.
bit... No. So here's the situation. It's nice to see that you are of a, let's say, sound mind right now, because we've been having a bit of spottiness amongst the fairies. Your family... how do I put this delicately? Rosalind, you never had a family, really.
Yeah, I did. I had a lot of siblings. I remember them.
Okay, yes, you do have a couple of siblings, this is true, and we know where they are. However, the rest of your family doesn't exist. It's alright, take time to process it, it's a lot.
What do you mean they don't exist?
Rosalind, I don't know how much you've put together, but you were meant to be a summon for the Lightsworn Heroes, just a tool to be used by them, and
Right.
the reason, like, a summon is not a person who gets any kind of extended family ties, shall we put it. Most folks don't even have names in this game. I'm afraid your family tree is just programmed. You just think you had one. It's just lore located on page 17 of the manual. They were never actually real.
Oh.
Now, you did have a couple of sisters, but they were kind of just set dressing for the Lightsworn Heroes to talk to while they acquired you.
Are they... Where are they?
Your eldest sister is not awake yet, so we put her somewhere safe with some of the other fairies at the Frostfangs. There's a secret fairy shrine there. It heals all wounds. It's literally impossible for them to get hurt while they're there. It's a safe sanctuary. They'll be okay, and either they'll wake up or they'll just stay there and be safe forever. The other sister, Bluebell, she was with us, and then she decided to go for a little explore down there. Didn't really inform us what was going on, but she's head to the Sunken City.
Sunken City. Okay. This is a lot to process.
Yep. Very understandable.
Okay. I feel like I probably should have paid more attention to what was going on around me previous to this, because honestly, if people don't say my name like 3 times in a conversation, I zone out. So I haven't really paid attention to what's going on, and I get the world is broken, but I didn't realize how scripted and broken it was. So now I'm kind of I think I'm freaking out. Yeah, I think that's the right word. I think I'm freaking out.
Please do. It'll probably be a healthy response. Here's the thing. It's none of it is your fault. You've been thrown into this by forces far beyond your control, our control, anybody's control. And it's high time that you started doing things because you wanted to do them, Rosalind.
I mean, I kind of always have, even in my scripted memories. My scripted memories were me skipping out on practice because I found it boring. And hanging out with friends, which now I'm wondering how many of them are real and how many of them are not even existing, because how many of the people in my memories are fake?
Yeah, it's been difficult for us to adjust, but a lot of us are just a flower name and a couple of lines of dialogue, so there's a lot of growth there. You already have so much, there's probably a lot of connections that you'd have to sort of pass through and make sense of, so I can't really know what you're going through, but you have my sincerest apologies.
I like your shoes. They're really cool.
Thanks. We've been having fun out here.
How'd you get the ship? I heard it was like super scary pirate ship or something.
Oh, we stole it.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Okay. So, Rosalind, here's the thing. Very glad that we found you, but also Bluebell has become a lot more what's the word? She's really going off on her own a lot. I think that she might be in trouble. It's hard to say. She didn't tell us what she left for, but we haven't heard from her for a long time, so we've kind of been circling around the area, just kind of waiting for her to come back. And we need to sort of maintain our magic to ensure that the undead who spawn on the ship don't spawn on the ship. It's a long story. It's very boring, but hey, if you want to head down there and see if you can find her, I'm sure she'd be very happy to see you again.
Yeah, no, I can do that. We can. Stoops, we have time for that, right? We don't have to look for the orb's blood like until later, right?
I mean, I turned to the mayor. Where did the Lightsworn heroes go after they got the orb from you?
The mayor kind of like looks down for a second and thinks and says, the next place they went to, oh, where was it? It was either the desert or the icy place. I forget the name of it. It was one of those two.
So they didn't go to the Sunken City? What is the Sunken City? What's there?
The mayor kind of like speaks up and says, well, as far as we know, Sunken City is just an ancient legend. Used to be a fabulous, amazing city. Then it got sunk under the waves, and then I think it got taken over by something. I don't know. I'm a bit sketchy on the lore of other places. This is our first time outside of town, so.
Okay. I'm gonna level with you, Foxglove.
Admiral Foxglove.
You command one ship.
Yeah, I skipped captain.
An admiral has to have at least two.
Says who?
Yeah, she says who?
Or wait, no.
Facts don't matter. Feelings matter, and I feel like you're an admiral, so.
We've missed you, Rosalind.
Admiral Foxglove.
Aye.
We're not looking for the orbs of blood.
Yes,
We're
we
looking.
are.
Rosalind, you're cool the way you are, and you
No, I'm
shouldn't
not.
just. Yes, you are. You are the raddest person that I know, and she's not just a summons. Thank you very much. So I wish you would take that back and not be so rude about it. But anyways, we're looking for the elemental orbs because, as Rosalind said, the world is breaking, and we would like it to not fall apart, and for the Mire Storm to not consume everything. So we've got to fix what the Lightsworn heroes can't.
Admiral Foxglove's eyes go narrow when you mention the elemental orbs, and she says, the elemental orbs? Why? What do you hope to accomplish? Why are you getting them?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to that part, but look at they're shiny. I will like them out.
Just this big yellow shining orb and this big green shining orb, infused with the power of earth and air respectively, just being played with like toys.
I can juggle.
Oh no, please don't drop them. I know we played catch with them before, but just be careful.
Foxglove turns to you, Rosalind, and says, do you know what those are?
They make pretty hold on, let me think back to the time. No, I think you guys aren't paying attention to me saying I don't pay attention when the conversation doesn't use my name 3 times.
You might have skipped out on this particular lesson, so let me clarify. Those elemental orbs that you're holding, they are fairy in origin. They used to be ours. Ancient fairies used to have them on Faerun. That's why we lived there. It was a place, it was a sanctuary. We guarded the elements and the magic of this entire place. And then do you know what happened? Every elf, every human, every dwarf, every gnome, every non-fairy in the land came to us, and they found something that they thought looked shiny and interesting, and so they decided to take it for themselves. And do you know what happened? They ripped each other to shreds fighting over those orbs, and they all secreted them away in their various kingdoms and empires. And do you know what immediately happened after that? The forces of chaos rose, monsters and villains spreading across the land, causing unknown devastation. So, I ask again, what is your plan with these elemental orbs?
Okay.
Um,
So,
Immediately,
supposedly-
my plan was to get 3 so I could juggle, but I don't think I should say that anymore after hearing the sad backstory of them. I think we need to collect them all to fix the world.
it's something to do with reversing the forces of chaos. But it may also help fix the mire.
But now that I'm thinking about it, do we even want to fix the mire? Because it's allowing us to have our own thoughts and feelings, and now I know my parents are fake, and without it, I would have just kept thinking they were real. And you get cool costume changes with the mire. Maybe the mire is something we should embrace.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about that. But you
hear
saw what
Tinsel
happened.
yell up, and he says, "I got eaten by MacPan so many times, so many times."
You're a beekeeper now.
Right, bees.
There's a lot of bad things that have happened because of it, though. People have died.
Yeah, but
Faerun's
now people are
gone.
living for real. And, well, I guess Faerun wasn't ever real. Since
And what happens when it just keeps expanding? The Mire Storm, it keeps eating everything. And there's gonna be nothing to even... We won't exist anymore.
have we ever?
So... Do you know what I am?
Signpost.
Yeah. But also, so Google and the wiki they're not my friends. They're information sources in the outside world. We are in a video game. We are stories.
So, oh,
And we're not even the only version of this game. There's hundreds of other versions of Rosalind and Stoobs out there. And also, I'm based on one of the programmer's dogs. There's a real Stoobs. I'm not the real one. But people love this game. And because they love it, maybe not in this one, but in, thousands of other games out there, Stoobs and Rosalind live happy lives, and maybe there's a mire, and maybe they go on adventures. But people love this game, and we're real to them. And they make memes. They make memes about me.
what's a meme?
It's like a joke, but it's like...
They make fun of you?
No, it's like... they're...
That's not
You know,
nice.
It's more like, they're not making fun of you, like it's a we're laughing with you kind of a thing. A lot of people were upset that they couldn't pick me up, so that's nice.
When you need to save the world, pet stoops.
It's just... And, so maybe we're not real in the sense that we're just code. Like, I've known from the beginning that I was just a video game, but I think I'm real. I'm scared of death. I want to survive. Those are signs of life. And people's love makes you real. So...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not denying that I'm real and that you're real. Obviously, we're real. We're feeling, we're moving, we're doing things. I'm saying that maybe I don't want to fix the mire anymore. I don't really... If everything's just gonna go back to normal, then I'll just be that same person I was before, and I don't want that. I'm a selfish person. I don't want to live on as a memory in someone's existence. I don't want to be a summon to just show up whenever some stupid guy named Butts with a Z wants.
Well,
I
we
want
also...
to be on a cool pirate ship and have friends and look cool and do cool things, and if the Mire lets me do that, maybe we should just...
But you can't do it if you're dead, if the mire eats you. We don't know what fixing the mire is. We don't know if that's just making it stable or what.
You hear Admiral Foxglove speaks up, and at first she kind of motions to one of the other fairies and said, "Bring up the prisoner, by the way." Listen, here's the thing. When you're collecting these orbs, tell me, once you have them, explain to me the next step.
I look at Stews, because Rosalind literally did not pay attention to anything ever.
You know, the Elven Oracle never mentioned what happens after. She just said that we have to follow in the steps of the Lightsworn heroes, and that'll solve things.
So you
But-
saw the world burning before your eyes, and you decided that the best thing to do was listen to some random elf who told you to go on some random quest that apparently they were too busy to do themselves, throwing yourself in mortal danger, trying to replicate the actions of people who are terrible people, to potentially stop something that you don't even know how you're going to stop it. Am I getting it right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, you hear kind of a slight struggle as a door flies open, and a couple of fairies are both at either side of this very, very smart-looking postal worker who is
Oh,
being
no.
kind of pulled out onto the deck. Spooks,
the-
would you like to describe?
Yes. As I come up, this postal worker in uniform with an empty bag is chatting up one of the fairy pirates as they're dragging them up here. And they said, I do have a question for you. I know you're a pirate. Are you able to read?
No.
Yeah, no, I see. I mean, have you tried to learn the alphabet? I mean, I know lots. I've really, honestly, only delivered a few letters for pirates. Have you tried to learn the alphabet?
You see a swish of fairy magic as these little pixels start to grow into these little particle systems and then slap onto your face, muffling you completely. And so what everybody notices is just this muffling postal worker dragged out onto the decks, and then you can see that Admiral Foxglove kind of like grabs between her nose and is just like, okay, so listen, we can talk a lot about sort of the philosophy of our situation for a long time. It is complex, not gonna deny, but why don't we focus on something we can change and get Bluebell out of the sunken city? So this one, pointing over to the postal worker, she says, "Good idea with the thing. That's a very good idea. This one we found washed up, had nothing valuable. They said that they want to see this sunken city, so." You'll be taking them with you, because I don't want to deal with this person anymore. So, have fun.
That's fine. We met a lot of strange people already. I
Yeah,
think
we've
this
met
one
a lot
is-
of strange people. It's
Have you
weird
met the
out
rock band yet?
there. No, we haven't met that one yet. Have you met the sort of cooking people yet?
The cooking people?
Yeah, the
Cooking
cooking people.
They have food?
Yeah, they make a lot of great food really quickly as well. It's very impressive.
Whoa.
Oh my god. Oh my god. If we have time. If we have time. We're
Anyway,
gonna
We
meet
can
the
put it on
cooking
the list.
people.
Let's go save Bluebell, and then we'll go find the cooking people, and I guess we can get the third orb, because I don't know.
I would also like the world to not be eaten like Faerun was, you know. If we're gonna have sentience, I'd like to be able to do it in a world that exists. You know?
Yeah.
anyway, let's get you all suited up and
Suited
Foxglove
up?
very
Suited
quickly kind
up.
of like shakes her hand around. Some more fairy magic kind of comes out. It's very cool, sort of flamey looking magic. She's clearly hacked or modded her magic somehow. And then it kind of turns into these sort of bubbles of flame, and immediately pop, 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 pop. These bubbles just appear around all your heads, and unfortunately, it overwrites, or rather, fortunately, it overwrites the muffle that you were placed under just in time. So
I was just going to say that it's all right. I understand that you spend years at sea.
the fairy who you've been talking to just kind of gives you a side eye, just like, I don't have
You
enough
know, the
skill
letter C.
points.
I have a vague instinct to either chase after this person in a vehicle or bark at them.
I
Or
don't believe that will be necessary.
Hi, I'm
Hello.
Rosalind.
Well, lucky for you, I'm just in time.
My family isn't real. How are you?
Well, I'm in a lot of a spot of trouble right now. You see, I lost something very important to me. I'm quite upset you said I don't have anything of value because I do have quite a few things of extreme value with me, but I lost most of them in the Sunken City. And you're going there?
Yeah, I'm getting my sister. She is real.
Wonderful. I've lost something. It's what's the word?
Lost?
No, not lost. Well, I'm looking for something. For lots of things. Well, it begins with an E. The word I'm looking for, it begins with an E, but it only contains one letter.
Foxglove kind of goes, this is what I'm talking about. I just don't know what to do with this.
I don't get it. Is it E, but it only contains
It's
one
an
letter?
You're looking for an envelope.
You correct. I am looking for an envelope. Thank you. I've been struggling with that one for the last few hours.
You
You
just
hear
sat
a
there thinking
"Bling."
about that for like hours on end?
I think this might be part of their character.
Oh, they're on a loop?
I don't think.
Loop is what means when you're not fully awakened, so you stick to your script.
Yeah, are you perhaps having an existential crisis?
Do you know your name? Well, you do know your name because you have a real one.
Well, you see, I'm not where I belong. I shouldn't be here, but I should because, well, I was having a normal day at the post office when all of a sudden there was this very strange portal-looking thing. I'd never seen anything like it before. And when I went up to it, I peered inside, and all of a sudden it seemed to suck me in, and my whole bag just opened up, and almost all of my letters just flew out of it into the portal, and I couldn't allow the post to just disappear like that. I know there's a very important letter in there for none other than the Professor Talon himself, and I couldn't let that letter be lost, or any of the other letters, because I take a lot of pride in my work, so I followed them inside, and I ended up here. And, I don't think I belong here very much.
No, you don't, but that's okay.
Justin, you didn't realize this until right now, but you have somehow appeared on the edge of the plank of this ship during that spiel, ready to be pushed right off. And the fairies are going, okay, that's enough of that.
So, okay, yeah. How much combat have you seen?
How much what?
Combat, fighting.
Combat? Oh, no. I
No?
don't need to do any of that. Do I?
Yeah, I pull out a sword.
No. You see, where I come from, we solve all of our conflict with puzzles.
What? What?
Puzzles.
So, if I try to stab you, you're just gonna puzzle at me? How
I
does-
would rather you didn't stab me, as I assumed that would hurt.
In general, yes, it does. However, most people
Bleh.
respawn eventually, but we don't know if you'll respawn, so we'll not.
No, I don't believe I'm that sort of game.
Okay, so
And
you
I
are.
I'm not gonna stab you. That would be mean. I'm not going to. I'm just here. Hold the sword. I want to see if if it lets you.
I take the sword and I hold a sword.
You get kind of some info text about sort of the potential of this sword. Could it be some kind of key that you could lock into something to open up? Or could it be part of a set where you need several swords to arrange on some knights to see, to get a correct arrangement going or something like that. But there is nothing of any indication of you being able to wield it, use it as a weapon, or have any kind of damaging powers with it. It is simply a puzzle piece to you.
This is a nice looking sword.
I got it from the princess.
The princess? Of where?
The human
Here.
princess. I think their kingdom name is just the name of the world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Humans
a
are
lot
really
of
vain.
implications in the naming systems that I just don't want to dig into because I feel like that would be a very bad wiki rabbit hole to get into.
Foxglove goes up to you, Rosalind, and says, "Wait, you stole the princess's sword? That's amazing."
Yeah, I super stole it.
Nice.
I'm
No, Bane is awesome and she is our friend and she gave it to us. She gave it to us because we're friends and we're awesome and we saved the Elven village together. Which is 50 times more awesome than stealing it. Because you're a hero.
Fine, I'm a hero.
Foxglove kind of says, "All right, we've waited long enough. Knock them off." And immediately, one of the fairies standing behind you, Justin, kind of like extends a leg in a single motion, and you, like a mannequin, just go and just start falling into the ocean. Your bubble air helmet still firmly secured around your head, but you just hear a as Justin is kicked into the ocean. And Foxglove says, "Let's not waste any more time."
Right. Let's not do
Okay.
that. Let's not leave Stoops here to talk anymore. Let's go inside where Stoops can't talk and ruin my crud.
You see that Avat, the mayor, and Tinsel kind of go to the edge of the Noma ship, and the mayor says, "Well, listen, we're glad that the Dreadship isn't destroying us right now, but we still have our mission to do. We have to find the Lightsworn heroes and try to put this all right, so we have to continue on to the Blightlands. We can't delay. I think this might mean goodbye."
Well, it was really nice meeting you, and thank you for all your help.
You can see Avat is kind of like stroking Obo and just being like, "Obo's really gonna miss you." Yep.
I'm gonna miss you too, Obo.
And you just see Tinsel just standing very stoically, and then you just hear. And you just see his helmet filling up with tears, and it's slowly like pouring out as well. And he says,
Give him a hug.
"Clang!
Tinsel, we'll see you again. We'll see all of you again.
I learnt so much from you. But I have to keep these little ones safe. They're going to a very dangerous place, and they're gonna need my help.
Sisters of blood forever.
Sisters of blood forever. Best of luck on your journeys. May we meet again.
Yeah, log into the group chat occasionally.
If I figure out what that means, I will. All right. Farewell."
Oh.
And the Noma ship unfurls the sails, and they start to depart. You just see a bunch of gnomes just like, "Bye, bye. We'll miss you. Thank you for everything you did. Bye."
I just walk straight off the edge of the plank. Like, just like, bloop.
Sploosh.
Well, Foxglove, I'll see you shortly. How did you change your costume?
I'll show you when you get back.
And I jump in.
And you splash into the water. You all have these great air bubbles around your heads, and it is preventing that horrible sound that you're all familiar with of just that the siren closing in and your bubbles leaving your body. None of that is happening right now. It is quite serene. Still, none of you have the mechanics to swim, so you're all just kind of like gently just floating down deeper and deeper and deeper into this ocean, and it's kind of like an awkward elevator ride at this point. Very quiet.
So...
Make sure my hat doesn't fly, doesn't come off.
Amazingly, it stays on. You don't know what forces are at work here.
Oh... Are you okay, Rosalind? How are you? I mean, obviously you're not.
Why'd you keep ruining that for me? I want her to look cool in front of her. But
You are cool.
No, I'm not. Everything about my life was a lie, and I'm trying to reinvent it and sound cool so that way at least I can fit in with the other fairies, and you keep undermining me at every second and every chance.
Because everything that you've done is better than any lie that you've ever told.
That's not true. I can tell really cool lies. Hey, Justin.
Yes?
Justin. I defeated a dragon and then wore its skin as armor.
Dragons exist?
See how cool I am? That's a really cool lie that I can tell.
I've only heard dragons in legends and maybe in a puzzle or two. Are they real here in this world through this strange portal?
Actually, you
Are
know
they
what I
real?
know? Are they real?
Do we have dragons in Phantasia?
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, totally.
Possibly.
Why not?
Incredible.
Justin, as you're looking off, you see there is a flick of white just below you, and you notice that it is one of your letters that is gently floating down, further and further down.
Is it ruined? Is it wet?
You grab it, and you realize that there was a point during sort of the main plot of the game you are from, Professor Tayton and the mysterious flood, you know that the main plot behind it was that a mysterious flood hit your hometown of Mystery Shear, and as a result, you everybody elected to create as much waterproofed items as they could, including envelopes. So every single envelope that you have has its contents completely secure against water at the very least.
He's going to they're going to collect the letter and put it in their trusty waterproof postal bag.
When Justin grabs a letter, you just hear "Bring."
Oh,
Hey.
that's really cool. So, Justin, what do you do for fun?
For fun? Well, I believe my job is one of the most fun things in the world.
Oh,
I mean, other than your job, what do you do?
Well, I do love writing letters as well as solving puzzles.
Okay, I guess that counts as a hobby. Do you do Sudoku?
Sudoku? No, but I have written a few puzzles of my own if you'd like to hear one.
sure. Tell me
I
your
mean-
puzzle.
You know, I was thinking of it just now as I was floating down.
Uh-huh.
If I were to drop a yellow hat into the Red Sea, what does it become?
A yellow hat in the Red Sea.
Any guesses?
It's still a hat. I don't get it.
Well, I suppose it would surely become something.
Yeah, wet.
Was it that easy?
Sure what's going on anymore.
You see just a fanfare, just like a few tiny fireworks just go over Rosalind's head, just like puzzle solved.
You're supposed to point dramatically at the camera.
I'm supposed to-
I've got it!
I've got it.
Rosalind points in the wrong direction. But at this point, you notice as you are descending and plunging further and further down into the depths of the ocean, you can see a beautiful sight, a radiant city below you, made of this incredible stonework, lit with these blue lights. It's truly there can be no denying that this is the sunken city itself, and you are on a kind of a direct course for sort of the outskirts of it. And as you kind of go down, you notice aquatic life floating by you, schools of fish, sharks, and soon you get tangled up in all this seaweed, and poof, you feel your feet or paws touch the sandy ground below you, and you see before you the resplendent sunken city.
Oh,
Huh.
it's really cool.
Okay, so how do we find your sister and the letters?
I don't know, maybe we could just yell and then she'll show up.
Oh my god!
Who's there? Who's there?
What?
Bluebell!
Hello? Who's there? You kind of quickly scurry through some seaweed, Rosalind, and you kind of enter the seaweed clearing, and there you can see a massive clam. And it slowly opens up, and you see two very large, adorable eyes sticking out of it, staring at you, and it says, "Hello? Who are you?"
Oh, I'm Rosalind. Who are you?
Suddenly the clam opens up, and you can see this little boy kind of like leaps out. He's got sort of bluish hue, sort of this hair that's kind of just like gently floating in the sea. He's got these fins on his ears, and he has an adorable gap tooth. And he just kind of like goes, oh gosh, oh gosh, oh geez, oh gosh, new people, new visitors, hello, hello, oh, this is so exciting, hello. Oh, shrimp on a blimp, I've met new friends.
Hello, what's your name?
There is suddenly this this kind of like energy in the air one moment, and the boy's like, my name? Why, I could tell you if you can see if you can figure it out. And then suddenly you are dragged through a vortex into the puzzle space. And this boy is kind of like sitting in front of you, kind of sitting in this clam. And he says, I would love to tell you my name. Gosh, geez, I sure would. But why not make it into a game? So
Oh no.
So,
Justin is listening like this is completely normal.
the last time we had some new people here, it was the Lightsworn Heroes, and, well, that's when I remember things, really. I was meant to be, well, set dressing, as it were. The Lightsworn Heroes came to our city, and they defeated the evil Mero and their Kraken pet, who had taken over the city. And, well, when they did that, as set dressing, I kind of, like, appeared to cheer them on, but it also means, and he sort of, pulls himself out of his clam a little bit, and you can see that he has no lower body whatsoever. And he says, I don't really have legs or fins or anything, but other than that, I'm just like the rest of them. And then I found this gosh damn lovely clam, and this and I can use to get around now. And he just kind of like starts kind of showing you how he just kind of moves around in this big clam. And he says, yeah, that's kind of what you get for being set dressing, because I was just, a very far background prop. They didn't really have to render the rest of me. But
It
anyway.
was a signpost. I understand.
Oh
My
gosh,
parents
jeez.
are fake.
Oh, I never had parents.
Well, neither
Oh.
did I.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
This got depressing. What's your name?
so my name, us merfolk, we're not very good at coming up with things. We're not the most creative bunch, but gosh, we try. So I thought I could name myself after sort of my origin as set dressing. So here's my challenge to you. If I used to be set dressing, then what's my name now? And I can give you some hints if you need them.
You used to be
He
set
was
dressing.
set dressing. Is this like Hangman where we have little gaps where
No,
the
not
letters should
quite.
be? No, damn it.
He says,
Can we
okay,
get a
first hint. I have a first name, a middle initial, and a last name.
Is it an anagram?
Nope, it comes straight from set dressing.
So you have a first name,
Uh-huh.
a middle initial, and
That's
a
right.
last name?
Leaping lobsters, you're smart. Yeah, that's right.
Justin takes out a notepad and a pen
Okay.
from their trusty pack and writes the word set dressing down and stares at it and
Okay.
goes,
I think
That's
they know what they're
literally
doing,
what I am
so
doing
I'm
right
gonna
now.
look over Justin's shoulder and also go.
You find it quite miraculous that a pen even works underwater, but you're not going to question it.
I'm not gonna question it.
Set D Racing?
That's right. I'm Seth. Seth D. Racing. You got it. Ba-da-da-ding. Hi, I'm Seth.
Oh.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Looks like I'm just in time.
Just in time. Hello. He kind of like pulls out a hand and shakes your hand very excitedly. And he's like, oh gosh, oh boy, it's been so long since we've had new people around here. It's so nice to meet you. Oh, here, for solving that puzzle, why don't you get a prize? And a letter appears from behind Seth, and he hands it over to you, Justin.
Exactly what I'm looking for. Thank you.
Ba-ding.
How did you know? I'm not okay, I'm overthinking this already. Okay.
I have a question for you, Set. Is there a post office in town?
I don't think so. We have a lot of, we kind of have a pneumatic tube system set up.
A town without a
Fascinating.
post office.
The post office.
Anyway, do you want me to show you around?
Wait, actually, what is a post office, Justin?
A post office? Well, a post office is the place where everyone who writes a letter, they give it to the post office, and then the post office gives the letters to the trusty postman like myself, and then we take the letters and deliver them to where they need to go.
Oh, see, in this world, we just drop them on the ground and then the hero picks them up.
The hero? Is the hero a postman?
No, they're a jerk who leaves people in caves.
Well, that can't be right.
Our world's a little scrambled, messed up. Maybe not in the best world state. You know, we don't have a mail system.
Are you
You don't
talking
have a
about
mail?
the Lightsworn heroes? Squid on a lid. They're my idols. I look up to them.
You should look up to someone better. They suck.
But they saved us. They saved our city.
Yeah, because they're just doing part of what the game is. They're not
See
actually good
this
people.
young child's eyes just get wide and somehow watery. He's just like, what?
I mean, they still did good things, but just because you do good things doesn't mean you're a good person. It's complicated, kid.
They don't do all good things. Sometimes they leave people in caves for days.
Yes.
Have a mail system.
Well, anyway,
We
why,
Don't necessarily have universal literacy, so you know it's a little complicated.
why don't I show you to town?
Yeah,
And then you can see
that's
all
fine.
the lovely wonders of the sunken city.
Do you? I can pull your clam if you want.
What? Sure. That sounds
so
fun.
you don't have to like, you know.
Oh, I love paddling, but I wouldn't mind taking a break.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm the noble steed, so I will figure out a way to
And you can easily just grab
Like-
some seaweed and just
horse and buggy.
yeah. And Stoobs, you roll with your tiny little legs, and kind of kick up a bunch of sand, and you start kind of going along, pulling Seth behind you. And the rest of you go into the city limits. And yeah, you pass through a lot of beautiful coral, these amazing, colorful fish. You realize you've never actually seen any underwater life before because water has been just the most deadly thing to you for the longest time. And Justin, you've probably seen, you know, things in fish tanks. You've solved fish problems, but you've never actually seen live aquatic creatures like this just swimming around you and dancing around as you're moving along. And like this entire time, Seth is just like going on and on and on, and he's just like, "Oh boy, the Merrow sure was scary. He was this big evil sorcerer, and he looked kind of like a merfolk, except he had this big, really gross, like what do they call it? Like a thing an anglerfish has. It was really spooky and scary. I never actually saw it though, but the way it's described to me, it sounds really spooky and scary. Just imagine having a big light dangling in front of your face. Oh."
I feel like that would be very distracting, yeah.
Uh-huh. Anyway, we just need to cross this bridge and we'll be in town. Oh boy, oh jeez. And you see that there is kind of at the edge of the wall of this city, there is a sort of a mer guard dressed in this kind of beautiful armor, standing with a glaive, their tail kind of swishing in the water. And as they notice your approach, they say, "Ah, some new... I assume heroes, and not people here to cause a ruckus."
Yes,
Maybe
postmen
I do
are
want to
heroes.
cause a ruckus.
Oh, then you're not allowed in, I'm afraid.
Have you been having problems with people causing a ruckus?
No, you could just never be too sore. We only just got this city back. We don't want to lose it immediately again. That'd be rather embarrassing.
Who is, like, do you have a mayor, a leader, someone with maybe some narrative clout that we could speak to? Who knows what's going on?
Kind of
Apparently, you don't have a post office.
They stroke kind of the various fish bits at the end of their chin, and this guard says, well, the biggest authority we have is the Arbiter, and they're sort of, we're a very judicial society. We like to keep things ordered and proper. You could talk to them, and they might be able to help you out with something. But I would
Okay.
encourage you to explore the grounds of beautiful Sunken City. We're really trying to get the tourist sector built up this time.
Question. Have you seen someone who maybe looks like, ooh, turn on my outside light. My friend here, and I gesture to Rosalind.
They look
God.
like me, but they're blue. Their color scheme is mine, but blue.
Blue, they are going to blend in quite well down here. I can't say I have, but it's a very big city, and I'm not appraised of every visitor who comes, so no harm in asking around once you make it inside.
Okay. I mean, maybe she's just kind of hanging out in the city. Maybe she came in through a different entrance.
Another important question. Have you seen any letters around? I know you don't have a post office, so letters, they look something like this.
No, we have a very, very robust pneumatic tube system. What is this? What are these letters?
This is a letter. Inside, it has writing, but you shouldn't open it because you shouldn't open anyone else's mail that isn't addressed to you. That's illegal.
mail fraud.
I have a question. What if you just change the name and write your own? Then can you open it?
Still mail fraud.
That's exactly.
I don't get it because you just said it has to have your name. But with
Yes,
writing,
but
you can write any name. So you could just write your name on top, and
Well,
then it
if
can be
you-
your letter.
If you'd really like some mail, you can always send a letter to yourself. But you can't take anyone else's mail.
a letter. Send me a letter, Justin.
I can send you a letter, but not right now. I believe the most important thing is to find the rest of my misplaced letters. So have you seen this?
I'm afraid I haven't, no. But here, I can lower the bridge, let you in, and you can start your search in earnest. And the guard goes over to pull a lever, and you hear nothing. Just a... He goes, oh dear. Run into a slight snag here. For us merfolk, it would be a problem, but for visitors, it will be. Are you familiar with the physics of the underwater?
No.
You mean
Not
like
particularly.
SpongeBob?
What?
What's it?
What?
Never mind.
No.
There's a
Vaguely.
guy named Bob? Where's Bob? Do we have to find Bob?
Which
I'll
Bob?
explain later.
So unless you're specially built for it, I'm afraid you are trapped on the 2D plane that you currently reside. You can neither go up nor down. So, ordinarily, a mer could simply swim into our city. However, for the rest of you, you are stuck to the ground as you are. Very unfortunate, but it's a thing we're starting to adapt around. I would lower this bridge, but it seems like it's lost power. Perhaps you could help me get its power back. And
This
then you
sounds
see
like a puzzle.
you see a glint in his eyes, and then and you are pulled, ambushed into the puzzle space once again. And the guard says, well, seeing as your visitors will make this nice and easy, and hopefully it can create enough puzzle energy for you to get into the city. Right, here we go. You know, it's a glorious place, the sea. Now, I wonder if you could come up with the right word beginning with C, S-E-A, for each of my hints. Here's the first hint. It's a piece of furniture that you sit on.
Seat?
Seat.
Correct! You're a ding. Now this one. A bird found close to shore.
Seagull.
Seagull.
Correct! You're doing very well. And you hear Seth next to you goes, oh gosh, whale and a grail, you're so good at puzzles. And you hear the sound of the bridge just kind of going as it's gaining power from your mighty puzzle-solving skills. And then the guard says, okay, a shift in temperature, the changing of leaves.
Season.
Correct! All right,
Okay.
last one. A ritual held to contact the dead.
Seance.
Correct! And you hear bing, 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 as the bridge gets full power, and he goes, well, look at that, you solved my puzzles incredibly quickly. And Seth is like, golly gee, seals on wheels, that was incredible! And the bridge goes down. And the guard says, you know, child, you could have easily just swung over there. But yes, all of you are now welcome. You can access the direct path to the sunken city. Please enjoy your stay. Get some souvenirs if you have the opportunity. And he stands to one side and lets you go forward.
Justin will stride across the bridge with all of the determination of a postal worker separated from their mail.
Okay. The guard says, oh, since you solved my puzzle, why don't I give you a reward? And he gives you something that is quite rare indeed. A map. It's
Holy cow!
It's only of the sunken city, but it is the first map you've seen after trying for so long
no
to find one.
Holy cow!
Way! This
It's
is
a map, Rosalind!
like I've been really mad and angry, but the joy I feel over having a map.
Yes, puzzles can do that to you. Alright, have a good day.
No, I don't think you understand. Maps like don't. Oh, okay.
We've been looking for so long.
Well, if you lose it, or you need more, there are free map kiosks throughout the city. Just feel free to grab one.
Who's your map maker? Can we steal them and bring them to other places?
We use our printing presses to make maps.
You press some guy named Print?
Well,
No, a printing press. You use it to write words onto a page. Or maps in this case.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay, yes, I've heard of it. However, the rest of our society is presently still stuck in manuscript production.
oh,
Okay.
surface dwellers. I'm
This is the
kidding.
most. This is the most technologically advanced place we've been, other
No,
than
wait,
other than
Gloom.
Busty Wusty.
Yeah, but we also went to Gloom and there was
That's
lasers.
I feel like that was technologically advanced in a very intimidating and disconcerting way, and this is much more useful.
at this
They
point.
have free maps.
Uh,
They do have free maps.
Seth says, "Oh, if you think maps are swell, just wait till you see the rest of the city. Come on!" And he starts sort of just paddling away, charging ahead.
I follow him. I am
Justin
like
is following.
fully engaged in tourist mode, just like
All right, you head through a beautiful, adorned archway, sort of depicting just a pod of dolphins, just forming a perfect arch. It's beautiful architecture. You can see that it's lit up by some kind of magical energy as well. And as you pass through the outer wall, you enter this grand plaza where there's towers and cathedrals and parks and just beautiful towns. There's this sort of rudimentary underwater monorail thing they have going on. It is a hustling and bustling city on the go. And there are plenty of people around too, just various merfolk just going about their day, swimming along. The sight of some surface dwellers is quite unique, so you do get a few people who just kind of look at you and go, "Oh, hello, greetings. Oh, hello, surface dwellers. Welcome to our lovely city."
how awakened does this town seem in general?
Most of the
Compared
people
to-
you're meeting seem to have sort of a low-level awakening. It's not zero, but you do notice a couple of non-awakened people on your journey, as you do pretty much anywhere you go, and they are basically like, "We'll never forget you, Lightsworn heroes," and they're still in celebration mode for when the Lightsworn heroes actually did something, and so they're just kind of standing there celebrating for something that happened a long time ago at this point.
This is really disconcerting, not gonna lie. Like that
Oh, don't mind them. They're just super pumped about the Lightsworn heroes.
How long ago was that?
Oh, geez, let's see. I don't know. Do you, measure time in splorps?
Sure.
Oh, it
That
was
makes
17 splorps ago.
Ah, that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Are there any light posts here?
There are, yes. And,
Well,
they're lit
we
up.
find it quite strange that Justin checks in every single light post that they pass for something.
There is one that has a slight silhouette of a rectangle, on it.
Oh! Is it glowing slightly? Do they find a hint coin?
You did, yes. Except it's not a coin,
Aha!
it is a hint voucher.
A hint voucher.
Yes. Legally distinct hint voucher.
Mm.
And you
did
ding,
you-
acquire it.
What did you just pick
What?
up? I heard the ding noise.
Why, it's a hint voucher. If you ever get really stuck on a puzzle, this can work in a pinch.
So you just use it and it tells you things?
Well, you use it and you get a hint. Yes.
From who?
From the puzzle giver.
The puzzle giver?
Who's the puzzle giver?
Praise the puzzle giver.
Well, it depends who's giving the puzzle.
So you just
Okay.
give it to anybody?
Anybody who has a puzzle, I suppose.
So
What
we
do you
could
ha-
have given it to the bridge keeper person.
What if there's
the
just like
guard?
a general
But
problem?
we didn't
Can you
need
ask
to.
it how to solve it? Can we just use it and say, how do you solve the myrrh? And then shove it at someone and they have to answer?
No, I don't think that's exactly how it works. And besides, you want to try to go through all your puzzles without using them, but
Why?
I'll admit something to you.
Mm.
I'm only an amateur puzzle solver. So sometimes I need them.
Is there a master puzzle solver?
There is! Professor
Oh.
Talon.
Oh,
Okay.
Professor
Uh,
Talon is the best puzzle solver of all time, I'm sure. Although he's far too modest to say that himself. And I know his apprentice, Fluke, is also.
Yep, yep, yep.
is also very good himself.
Speaking of apprentices, you hear the sound of Seth come up behind you and says, "Excuse me, new friends, I found somebody who I think might be able to help you. I was asking her about your blue friend, and they said they might have seen them."
oh, you've seen Bluebell?
You see the sort of elderly merfolk kind of stooped over, sort of more fishy features than humanoid, and they say, "Yes, I saw them. I saw them flutting around here. They were quite a sight to see. Yes, I certainly remember it. I could tell you where they went, if you could perhaps..."
Oh boy.
Dragged into the puddle vortex. You see that this elderly merfolk says, "Now, if you answer this question with the correct answer, then I shall tell you where you can find your friend. Now, pay close attention. I am full of holes, and yet I still hold water. Tell me, what am I?
A sponge.
Goodness gracious! An explosion happens as you just see the fireworks goes up of puzzle solved. And you see that Stews gets just like a bunch of these arbitrary seeming points that just go ding. And the elderly merfolk is just like, absolutely astounding. You solved my puzzle in a new record time. Well, first of all, here's a reward. And pulls out a letter. Oh no, sorry, it's not a letter,
Justin.
it's a sponge. My apologies. Here you go. And you get a sponge added to your inventory, which I'm going to add over here. On roll 20.
Sponges
what
are
does it
great
mean?
if you ever need to seal a bunch of letters at the same time.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, you have, well, you see, the way that envelopes work,
Uh-huh.
they pull out a blank envelope. Is they have
Give a
this little-
description. It's a sponge that's soaking wet, obviously.
Exactly. You take a wet sponge and you lay them all out next to each other, and then you sponge over the envelope, and then you can close them all.
Oh.
It works great.
Is that what this is? Or is this like a literal sea, like just a big sea sponge, or is this like
It is a
What's
very...
the size of this?
if you imagine just the prototype for aesthetically correct average sponge, that's what you have.
So like this big.
Yep.
Okay. I was thinking like an actual, like a loofah.
There are a couple of actual sea sponges around. But you hear that Seth says, "Jumpin' jellyfish! You're the best puzzle solvers ever! Why, you could solve every puzzle in this place if you wanted to at this rate."
There's that. How many puzzles are there?
Oh gosh, everybody thinks of new ones every day. It's really incredible. I'm not very good at puzzles myself, but I always wanted to be an ace investigator, to be the best puzzle solver in the city.
Wow. You could just say
Okay.
you are.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, but my puzzle score is so low.
Oh,
There's a
don't you
score?
worry. Just keep at it, and I'm sure you'll be better.
Oh,
Try for completion. Solve all the puzzles.
Shark in a Park, you're correct. All right, I'm gonna
Oh, and
do
if
it.
there's ever a puzzle you didn't solve, I'm sure if there's a library or something, you can go ask the librarian. And
Okay.
if there's any puzzle you couldn't solve then, they'll probably have it for you.
And you hear the elderly mofo go, "Hold on, I didn't give you the information you requested.
Oh,
That's
right.
true.
Last time I saw your friend, they were at the fountain.
The fountain. Where's the
the fountain?
fountain?
Just go down that street that way, and then take a right at the next plaza, and then a left at the gardens, and you'll get there.
I'm
Thank
terrible
you.
at these puzzles.
Of course, have fun, puzzle solvers! And he just starts floating away.
Whoa. Did someone? I have a question, Stu. Did someone completely different work on this part of the game than like everyone else?
I'm wondering, but
Because this has a really different vibe from the rest of the world. They got
Yes.
maps.
this is highly advanced, and honestly, I'm very impressed, and I kind of just want to live here.
I want to be a pirate now. I
Well,
think
you
that'll
should
be
come
fun.
well, you should come back with me to Mystery Shear. This feels very much like home, but very much not like home considering it's underwater.
Mm.
Do you have libraries like
Yes.
that people can just use?
Of course.
Whoa. Do you have a
God,
house?
we've been living in the dark ages.
A house?
Oh,
Yeah. Do you have a house or do you just live in the post office?
I don't live in the post office. One of the buildings in the background has is an apartment complex, and my backstory tells me I live there.
But you
But-
don't really.
but have you ever been to your apartment?
I'm sure I have. I know what it looks like.
No, you haven't. You haven't been there because it's fake.
I do know what the post office looks like, and that's what's important, I think.
Right, of course. Sorry.
Throughout this conversation, you have found, just gliding through the city, you are at the site of the fountain, and it is truly perplexing how there is a fountain underwater. But yet, you see it before your eyes, a fountain. It does look a bit dry now, not literally, but it looks like it's not really doing anything right now. And you see a merfolk kind of bent over, a little bit of butt crack showing. You kind of get glimpses of between the fins flying back and forth as they're just kind of like tweaking something that you can't quite see, and they're just like, dirty this stupid, come on.
You okay
Is
there,
this a
sir?
pipe puzzle?
Yeah, who goes there? Yeah, you, new people. Hello. Welcome to the Sunken City. I apologize that the fountain is not in working order right now. I am working my best at trying to fix it.
Did you see someone who looks like me but blue?
I did, yes. They had similar wings to you. Yes, of course I remember.
Where'd they go? Where?
Well, and you are dragged into the puzzle space, and this fountain repair person says, "Now I just can't make any sense of these gosh dang pipes." And you see before you just a grid of these different pipe joints, and they say, "Now all I need to do is get the water flowing from there to there, but I just can't figure it out. I just can't do it. Do you think you can help me out here?"
Is a pipe puzzle.
Are you good at these?
No.
Oh.
For those interested, you can roll a clever check to see if you can help fix the fountain.
But I'll try my best.
Okay.
And Justin opens up like the notes window and starts trying to like draw over like the pipe screen, like trying to figure out how to connect them.
A lot of notes just kind of in the way.
How are you doing that?
You just open the note screen at the bottom.
The what?
You see nothing.
Uh,
I should also note, by the way,
This is part of their HUD.
at this point, Stoobs and Rosalind, you both have any stress you had is gone, and your fate points are returned as well. So remember,
good idea.
aspects are there if you need them to enhance or otherwise modify your rolls.
Okay.
Same for you, Spooks.
I guess I'll also make a clever roll.
Okay.
I mean, Spooks got 3, so and I also got 3. Okay.
I don't think Rosalind tries. I think she's just like, why don't you just create water at the bottom? Like, ooh, magic.
Yes, between Justin and Stoobs feverishly working at this pipe puzzle, you hear the sounds of pipes being slotted in and the sound of as they rotate them. You don't know, Rosalind, why they don't just slowly rotate them with their hands, but they can only do it in 90 degrees for some reason. But soon enough, you slot a bunch of pipes in place. You avoid the sort of septic tanks that are obstacles along the way. You have no idea why they are there, why it is possible to even mix them up like this. But you navigate a convoluted pathway leading to the outtake pipe, and soon enough, the repair person pulls a switch, and suddenly the fountain starts spraying up this beautiful water, and it's glowing as well. It is truly a beautiful thing to behold. And the repairman's like, "Well, gosh, look at that! You solved my puzzle!"
That does it?
Right.
And you remember to point. I think that gets you more points. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, here's your reward. Number 1, a pipe king!
Oh!
And number 2, my information. Right, so, here's what I know. I think I saw your other fairy friend was talking to a rather, sort of inventor-looking fellow. Was working on something they were calling, what was it? This sort of box on a tripod, and they had this cloak that they threw over themselves. I don't know what they were up to, but they were clearly trying to invent something new. Anyway.
Is it a bomb?
I don't know. I certainly hope not. That would be very dangerous.
No, they're really fun.
But I'd hate this lovely city of ours to get destroyed or hurt in any way. Anyway, if you would like to find this person, last time I saw them, they were over at the bridge across the river. That's right, the underwater river. If you just go down a path this way, you'll see them no time.
Underwater river. Right. Okay.
Those actually technically exist.
They do? Okay.
Yes, because I think it's sulfuric acid that makes that water more dense. So, like, if you're diving underwater, it looks like it's almost like a lake or something.
There's definitely
it's really trippy.
There's a very ironic no swimming sign placed on the bridge to deter any people away from diving into it. And you can hear Seth kind of says, "Boy, you're the best at solving puzzles. Can I ask, when did you all get so good? When did you learn all these skills? How can I become an amazing investigator?"
Well, I once had the honor of meeting Professor Talon myself, and, well, as I told you, he's the best puzzle solver that ever was. But when it comes down to it, it's all in practice and dedication.
Oh,
to
God.
whatever
I think
it
you
is
should
do.
cheat.
Cheat? I don't want to cheat.
I personally think that if you just read a lot and, you develop some good broad-based knowledge, you'll be fine.
The world is fake and everything keeps getting messed up, so why play by the rules?
Is she okay? She seems a bit unhappy.
I mean, she just found out that her parents were fake. So, you know,
That's
she's
really
a little
sad.
pissed at the world.
Well,
Oh.
Seth, I
Yes.
have a puzzle for you. It's a
What?
simple one.
Oh,
Remember?
boy.
Well, I was just reminded of it by something that happened. But here's the
Huh?
puzzle. What can run but never walks, has a mouth but never talks, has a head but never weeps, has a bed but never sleeps?
You all see Seth's face as he is dragged into the puzzle space.
Oh, God.
His eyes wide, and he's kind of blinking and looking around. And he goes, "Oh gosh, oh geez, a head and oh, I just don't know. I'm so bad at puzzles, and I don't have any hint vouchers to use either."
Maybe if you just ask nicely, they'll give you a hint. Why do you need a voucher? I don't really understand the system.
Justin slides the hint voucher into the puzzle space.
Okay. Seth kind of like his eyes light up. And he goes, and he kind of taps it, and you hear this ping sound, and it unlocks a hint.
And the hint would be, remember the conversation we were just having. Perhaps something in particular reminded Justin of this riddle.
Lack of parents.
Oh.
Maybe a little earlier than that.
Pipes.
Maybe a little later than that. Continue.
Oh jeez. Oh no. Oh no. He
Hard work
sees
and dedication?
visibly sweating underwater.
It can
Maybe
run.
if we
It has a
heard-
mouth. It has a head and a bed.
A river?
And
Ah!
ding!
Ah! You see that Seth looks like he just got put inside a centrifuge and just spun around, as suddenly the world of possibilities opened up before his eyes as he solved his maybe first ever puzzle.
Oh.
And you see the fireworks go above him, and just like tears form in his eyes that you somehow see underwater, and he's just like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing it! You're right. I can be the best investigator in the world. I just have to keep trying. Oh boy, that was a great puzzle. Thank you."
Thank you. And your reward.
Oh, that's
Justin
okay.
panics.
What if we're friends?
because-
Could that be my reward?
Of course. But there's also the reward of they pull out an empty envelope. And they write on the front to set de-ressing, and put inside of it a just leans down and picks up. Is there like, would I be able to find like a seashell on the ground or something like that?
There's so many seashells.
Takes
Just
the seashell,
everywhere.
puts it in the envelope, licks it sealed, and delivers the letter.
Golf and Dolphins, my first very own letter that's not traveled through a pneumatic tube. Oh gosh, thank you, Justin. I really appreciate it.
And my return address is in the corner if you ever want to send me one.
Oh gosh, oh jeez. Oh, thank you. Oh, I need a moment to
Oh
calm
my
down.
God. I really. If it turns out that just stabilizing the mire like solves everything, and like all these different worlds can be connected, like I feel like it would be Justin's dream to just like have a postal service connecting all of
Yes,
them.
all of the world.
Justin would love to deliver letters here.
So
Justin just delivering
my
letters
gosh.
through all the different games.
Universe
At
hopping,
Aw.
just
the
like
post office in the sunken city.
yeah.
yes.
So during this, Rosalind, you notice that there was this woman standing on this bridge who seems to be operating a device very similar to the one that the repair worker was describing. And she currently has her head under this blanket, fiddling away at something.
Hey, you, lady.
She kind of, hello? Yes? Hello? A fairy! Hi!
Yes, have you seen the blue fairy?
A blue fairy, you say? Well, I've been quite distracted working on my new device. I call it... Are you ready for this?
Is it a bomb?
Well, there's pyrotechnics, we could say.
Ooh.
But no, this is my submarine screenshot machine.
Ooh.
Does it explode?
Okay.
Well, it's not supposed to, but it can. I've discovered a way to tap into some of the game's redundant or defunct systems, and I discovered that there was a photo mode long ago, and well, this device helps us tap into it. Go
Oh,
on,
so
have a
it's a
look.
camera.
See for yourself.
Okay, I look at
You
it.
kind of peek under the thing, and you see there is kind of this lens that looks out across sort of the river and to the buildings in front of you. And you see that there are various settings that you can change. Filters, vignettes, depth of field, angle, all sorts of different things you can tweak. And there's also a big button on it that I imagine you are probably lured to very quickly.
I press it!
And just with an explosion of underwater flash powder, you create a screenshot, and it kind of gets printed out this little machine, and this Mer inventor kind of like takes it out and says, "Yes, there you go. You see, you just took a screenshot. Your very first screenshot. It's time stamped. It's got a little sort of Phantasria logo at the bottom there. Here you go, all yours."
Actually,
That's pretty. Can we get one of all of us?
yeah.
Well,
Cool.
I'm running low on powder, but I would love to get a shot of everybody. Come on, huddle close together.
We should do the point.
Point.
Okay, so Seth,
My little paw just like.
Stoobs, Justin, and Rosalind, you all get ready in a great pose. I'm gonna ask for a flashy roll for this to see how
no.
badass your posing is.
Let's
Do we
find
all
out.
have to make a flashy?
Yes.
Oh no.
No, yeah.
Okay.
It's a 0.
2 and 0.
Completely
Okay.
neutral.
Whoa, oh,
A -1 for
Oh,
Justin.
Justin.
how did
Oh.
that happen?
Oh.
That is incredible.
Well,
Let's see. For Justin, I think I am going to. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's an aspect of yours that I will invoke. But sadly, there is not one that I can justify fitting getting a good picture taken.
I mean, the stunts.
Oh yeah, what kind of stunt do you
I
have?
have my stunt dedication that, because delivering the mail is the most important job in the world, I gain a +2 whenever I'm flashy to show off my dedication.
I will take it. Okay.
Hey.
So, kind of entering this sort of sense of civic duty that you have surrounding your postal proficiencies, you stand with great attention, as does Seth, who's kind of like doing an adorable double peace signs between all of you,
Yes.
with his big toothy gap tooth showing off. And the picture is taken. It blinds all of you for a good 5 seconds or so. But soon enough, the photographer takes out the screenshot and says, "Well, that was the last of my supplies, but gosh, I think it's a very good final piece for the day," and shows it to you. And it is a lovely little thing. And it's got, a lovely timestamp. It's got the Phantasria logo on it. There's a sort of subtle vignette on it. The colors are boosted, good contrast, just beautiful.
It's
I like it.
I think this is one of the best photographs I've seen.
Oh, you do me too much. Wait, you've seen other ones of these? This is my invention.
Oh no, you're right. You said this is a screenshot. I've never seen a screenshot before.
I see. Okay, yes. Anyway, did you have a question for me?
Yeah. Where did the blue fairy go?
The blue fairy! Oh, she was quite a sight to see. I tried to take a picture, but my device wasn't quite functioning at the time, unfortunately, so I missed her. But I did see her. Would you like to know where she went?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
You are dragged into the
Feel
puzzle vortex.
disembodied each time this happens.
You see that the photographer kind of stands in this liminal space that you've entered, and she says, "There are many tall buildings in the sunken city, but to find your friend, you will need to seek out the building with the most stories. That is the puzzle."
Okay.
So like
The
stories
most
as in it's the
stories.
biggest, or stories as in like books?
The most
Books.
stories.
That sounds like a great idea. Do you think that might be the answer?
What?
Perhaps this might be it. Is it?
Oh.
A library.
Correct! You hear the photographer shout as you get the little fireworks above you with puzzle solved, and the photographer says, yes, yes, absolutely, the library, and just when you know it, just across that way, you can reach it. And she points kind of like across the bridge and says, I took some rather nice pictures of it earlier. Here, I want you to keep them as a reward so I can show off some of my work. And she hands you 3 photographs of this library building. Beautiful architecture that has been taken at various sort of angles, various sort of filters. Some of them have just an absurd amount of filters on. It is kind of hard to see what you're looking at times, but yeah, you get them pictures. So, do you head over to the library?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Okay.
Wait,
I'm
before
so
I go,
excited.
have you happened to see any letters?
Any
They
letters?
look something like this.
Now, is this a puzzle? Alphabet
I
soup, is that the answer?
Alphabet soup? No, I'm simply. Oh, that's a good one. They take out a notepad and flip to a page that says puzzle ideas and write letters, alphabet soup on it, and like underline it.
That
And they
is-
say, "No, I'm looking for some mail. I've lost it."
The person says, you know, I think I did catch some unusual sort of particulate effects on some of my previous photos. I think a number of them fell down. You know, in the area of the library, so worth looking around, I suppose.
Of course. And before they leave, they check the camera for a hint voucher.
Okay, go ahead and roll clever, and let's see if you're able to spot any secret vouchers.
Oh,
Should we-
Oh!
Whoa.
You find
Holy cow.
not 1, but 2 vouchers. Unfortunately, they were stuck together, as things tend to become underwater or something. So now you have 2 more hint vouchers added to your inventory.
Should I read this description so that like people know what?
At the
This is
moment, don't worry
supposed to
about
be.
it.
Okay.
All right, so you head over to the library, and the closer you get to it, you notice that there is a large crowd outside of it, a very unusual sight. And you see that there's just a lot of people around. You hear murmurs of, oh, I can't believe it. It's like, yes, there never has anything like this happened before. Unprecedented, I say, unprecedented. And there's a big commotion going on. And what's more, they're really blocking the entrance to the library that you're trying to get into simply because there are so many people there.
Excuse me. Coming through, small dog. What's happening?
For you, Stoops, you're probably one of the few people who can just kind of like weave your way through the various fins and legs to reach the other side if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll just kind
Justin
of weave.
taps on somebody's shoulder
Ah,
and says, "Excuse me. What is all this commotion?"
did you not hear the news? There's been a heist at the museum. Somebody stole something.
A heist?
Yes, the greatest
did they
artifacts
steal?
of the sunken city have all disappeared, apparently. Our most treasured prizes. Who knows what we're going to do? Who knows who would do such a thing? It's untenable.
Oh my, Is there anything that can be done about it? What if they stole some of my letters too?
I wouldn't know. I'm trying to get inside, but it's just so hard to get past this crowd. And then suddenly, you're dragged into the
no.
puzzle space, and you see before you a massive maze of people moving in different motions.
Oh!
And various weirdly shaped people as well, just like blocking off certain exits. And it seems you have to navigate your way through this maze. So please tell me how you all go about doing that, and we can figure out what role you do.
For one thing, I am very close to the ground, and all I can see is legs.
And
So,
fins.
Who?
I think Rosalind would try, like, she's kind of in a bad mood. So I think she is kind of like done with this and just gonna try to like create a bunch of like seaweed to make a seaweed bridge over them.
Ooh,
and
I
then
love
just
that.
walk
Yeah.
over.
Sounds like
She's
a,
like, I don't even
Cheat the
want to deal
puzzle.
with these people.
a flashy
Just
use
completely bypass it.
of your magic. Go ahead and roll flashy. What about everybody else?
Justin is going to at first try to just weave their way through the puzzle, like go this way and then, oh, that's a dead end, and then I'm going to go this way, and was just going to try to brute force their way through.
Okay, forcefully solving this puzzle. I love it. So go ahead and roll forceful. And Stoobs, what method are you taking? What are you doing?
I think I'm trying to think my way through it, you know?
Okay, yeah.
Just to sit there and be like, okay, well, like, typically when you have a maze, it's like, you know, you can turn right and, you know, a certain number of times and it'll get you somewhere or something. I don't know. Just try to think about the different ways to solve it and try to apply those.
Sounds good. You engage your spatial thinking. Go ahead and roll clever.
It's okay.
And I'm going to roll for your companion and wannabe greatest investigator, Seth, who is
He's
going to
got this.
get
Adorable.
I believe in him.
a 2.
Okay.
Oh,
man.
gosh. Okay, so with that, all of you managed to succeed. Rosalind, of course, you are immediately the first one across as you just walk over. Clearly, whoever designed this puzzle did not have a plan to block or otherwise counteract you overcoming it in this manner. And you kind of slide in between the top of the doors and the rabble of people to get into the library area. And you can see it is a beautiful complex that you're in. There are these massive columns. Yes, sorry. Okay.
Is this a library or a museum? Or is it both?
It's both.
Okay.
So you see a sign, Rosalind, that says that the lower floor is the library and the upper floor is the museum. Supposedly, according to the sign, where the muses live. And it seems that as you are kind of moving your way through this place, you start to see a lot of guards around as well, investigating, solving various puzzles to try and pick up clues from the ground, and not doing very well in the process. You see that the sort of majority of the people here are concerned with something that's happening on the museum level. Unfortunately, as a surfacer, you are bound to your 2D plane, but you do see something marked bubble lift that should kind of like get you up to where you need to go. However, when you go over to it, you see that it is broken. And it is not working.
No.
And soon enough, Justin and Stoobs, you follow suit, as does Seth, and he just goes, "Seals on wheels! I just did another one! Did you see me? Did you see me?
You did great.
I did.
I did it! Oh boy, oh man."
No, I was cheating. Sorry.
And as soon as you say the word cheating, a guard immediately comes up to you, Rosalind, and says, "Hey, what's going on over here? What's going on over here?"
What? Though I just used magic to bypass the puzzles.
You look just like the fairy that we just arrested.
You arrested my sister?
Ah, you're your sister then. We're gonna need you to come downtown.
Oh
Scary.
no.
What's happening?
There's been a heist, little dog creature. This fairy creature has stolen some of our culture's most prized artifacts. Stole them right
Well,
from the museum level.
Okay,
What
well,
were
my
they?
argument
Like
number
that.
one is everyone stole everything from the fairies, so why does it matter if fairies steal things? Also, number two, nothing is real, and they were all made for the heroes. So, honestly, you don't own anything, I don't own anything, none of us own anything anymore, because the world is fake and was created for some guy named Butts with a Z.
Pair of handcuffs come out, and immediately Rosalind is
Ooh.
arrested before your eyes. And he says, "All right, tell it to the court. Let's go."
Wait, whoa. You can't just, you don't have probable cause?
The guard kind of turns his head and says, "What do you know of sea law?"
I know that people have rights and that you can't just arrest someone. You haven't even told her her rights.
Yeah, wait, what did I do?
Yeah, what did she do?
We're just taking you downtown and doing it as quickly as possible.
Well, then you don't have to put cuffs on me.
Too late, I already did it. Let's go. And starts pulling you
This is
along, Rosalind.
illegal! This isn't
Wait, we can use it.
Did you want to use something, Rosalind?
No.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So Rosalind is taken downtown. The rest of you can follow if you wish.
Yes.
Justin is definitely going to follow,
Okay.
and is very concerned about their newfound friend.
All right. Something I forgot to mention, you get the broken bubble lift added to your inventory somehow. You're not entirely sure how this is happening in this weird undersea world that you're in. But yes, so Rosalind, you are taken away as Stoobs and Justin and Seth try to follow. The three of you are very quickly ambushed by this sort of raving, sort of bureaucratic-looking man with sort of very manicured hair and these kind of like big catfish whiskers. And he says, "Now hold on right there. I have a question for you."
Oh no.
And
It's a
the
riddle.
three of you
Oh, God.
are dragged into the puzzle vortex, and you lose sight of Rosalind in this moment. And this man kind of like holds up a briefcase, and he says, "I am the census taker of the sunken city," and kind of like taps on his suitcase, and he says, "But sometimes tracking people down is difficult. It reminds me of this story I once knew when I tried to get the information for somebody's census filled out. He was a man who went to a distant town riding his narwhal, and he left on Monday, and he stayed for 4 whole days, and then he returned on Wednesday. So tell me, how is this possible?"
Well, how many days are between Monday and Wednesday? Monday, Tuesday,
Tuesday,
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
That's not 4.
Indeed, yet he was gone for 4 whole days.
Wait, so he left on Monday, but he arrived back on Wednesday.
Correct. Yet he stayed in the town for 4 days.
Well, there's more to this riddle. Sometimes, when you don't know the answer to a puzzle, you need to hear it again because there's a piece of information that you missed. Could you repeat that?
I shall repeat myself, as is my duty as a census taker. A man went to a distant town riding his narwhal. He left Monday, stayed for 4 days, and returned on Wednesday. How is this possible?
Wednesday is the name of his narwhal.
Ah! You are correct. Yes, Wednesday was the name of the narwhal. He returned on Wednesday, but not on the day of Wednesday. Well done. Well done. Here, have a reward. I don't have many good rewards to give out, but here, have the census. Here you go. He hands you a census paper listing everybody in the city.
Is this legal?
He says, "Oh yes, you solved a puzzle. It doesn't get more legal.
I feel like this is.
Anyway, have a good day."
Justin.
Justin will take it and put it in the mailbag.
Yeah, I trust you with personal information. I handed it.
All right. But yes, you have in this brief distraction, you have lost sight of Rosalind. So what is the plan?
We got. Are they taking her to the police station? Are they taking her to the courthouse? They weren't. They just said downtown.
I know where downtown is.
Do you?
Okay. We'll follow you.
All right, let's go. And Seth starts paddling in a frenzy, taking you all to downtown. And very quickly you catch up to Rosalind. She is not moving particularly fast in this moment. And she is deposited she's kind of taken to a room with a seat deposited in it, as are the rest of you. The guard kind of like looks down at Seth and goes, "Hey kid, are you with them?" And he's like, "Oh gosh, oh geez, I am." And then he just goes, "All right, there you go," and puts him in with the rest of you, and then closes the door. And now you're all sitting in this
Hey.
room.
Wait, I have mail to deliver.
There is a single
Literally
seat.
committed no crime, but
It sits before a sort of table with a big glass screen, and suddenly you hear a tick as a light turns on from the other side. And Rosalind, looking in there, you see the head of your sister Bluebell looking up, and she is very different from how you remember her. She has gone all out on the blue, neon blue. She's kind of incorporated some of the weird magical energy they have into this place, into like tattoos and stuff that she now apparently has. And she also.
cool change, but me.
And she's also carrying what appears to be a keyboard kind of slung over her back. And she's like,
What?
"Hey sis,
Hey,
I think I'm in trouble."
yeah, Did you steal something?
They said I did, but I promise I didn't. I didn't steal nothing. No way.
Well, I believe you. But it's been a while. Are you okay? I like your new outfit.
Oh yeah, thanks. I worked really hard on it. Yeah, you're looking different as well. I can't quite put my finger on it, but
I try to smudge off the sludge that's still on my chin. It's the same. I haven't gotten a cool costume change like everybody else.
you get any cool things? Any stuff?
Yeah, I got a sword from the princess.
Ching! A singing elven blade comes out with a spray of bubbles, and Bluebell's like, "Whoa, that's
Yeah.
amazing!"
Also, I've been working on making magic bombs, but I ran out of bombs, so I can't put magic in them.
I
But
don't-
you know, when I get more bombs,
Wow, that's great. I've been trying to practice keyboard, and I've been traveling around and doing all sorts of things, getting into a bunch of shenanigans. I've never been arrested before though, so help.
okay, yeah, I'll figure it out. I mean, worst comes to worst, we could probably just break you out and run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
we'll
no.
make that plan Z.
Okay. I've never been in a situation like this before, Rosalind.
Oh, calm down. Don't
Breathe,
worry.
breathe,
We'll
breathe,
make
breathe,
sure
breathe.
that everything works out all right. Do you need a distraction? I can have a distraction for you. Something to get your mind off of all of
Please
this
don't
that's
give me a
going on.
puzzle. I've had to deal with so many puzzles. I can't take it. I'm so bad at them.
It's okay, I'm not very good at them
Justin
either.
just kind of like sinks, like, oh.
You see Seth next to you.
Oh.
It's okay, Miss Justin. I can maybe have a crack at it.
Oh, well, wonderful. And then they pause because the puzzle that they were about to say calculates time in years and months, and that doesn't really work here, does it? No. But here, I know one. I'm sure you have one of these, right? They reach into their pocket and they go, aha, no, I have a puzzle. And say, my pocket is empty, but there's something in it. What could it be?
Is it a letter?
No, it's empty.
Oh, an empty letter. Oh.
My pocket's empty, but there's something
Do you
in it.
name your pocket empty?
No.
Is there water in it?
Right now it seems there is, but that's not the answer to the puzzle.
You just kind of see a da-da, incorrect. And Steph
Oh.
gets thrown backwards. He's like, oh.
That looks really painful. Wait,
Yeah,
what?
What?
That's what happens when you guess wrong?
That's okay, it doesn't hurt.
It's just the panicked sprite. Don't worry about it.
Is it a hole?
Yes! My pocket has a hole in it.
You
It's
see
quite unfortunate.
above Seth's head an experience bar fills and he explodes with light and it says puzzle level 2 and he's like, oh gosh, oh gee, so many flashing lights, ah! And Bluebell's just like, what is happening in there right now?
I don't know.
He leveled up.
He leveled up in puzzles. Which
And
is
Bluebell's
cool.
like, oh, they grew up so fast. But I'm in jail still, help!
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get you out. Don't worry, Bluebell. It's gonna be okay.
And then a guard comes in and says, they said you'll be needing this. Bam! And they drop a massive book before you. And you look down, and it's titled The Judicial Code of the Sunken City. And,
Pass that to Stoobs immediately. Those are two big words.
and the guard says, well, don't know how much defense experience you have, but we're starting in 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
What?
Yep.
Defense experience.
Yes, defense experience. Defending
Like,
as opposed
like
to prosecuting.
Fighting, right? Okay,
Oh.
I know.
Well, it can get a bit rough in there, but no, I'm talking about verbal courtroom battles. No swords involved. Unless it's submitted for evidence.
Can we just submit anything as evidence?
Nope, very strict. The court record has to be approved.
So, how long does it take to approve evidence?
Depends. Depends on the evidence itself.
Don't you have to submit evidence like a
Before?
significant
You
amount
gave
of
us
time
5 minutes.
before?
It's
He kind of-
probably in the legal
He taps on
code.
the book. Yes, see, there's a reason I gave you the book, and you have 4 minutes. I'll be back soon to
I
take you to the
open the
courtroom.
book.
Alright. And as Stoobs studies like never before, like a college student who has done no studying before their final exam, you desperately scan this book, trying to find answers to how this insane system works, while the rest of you either solve puzzles or politely sit to one side.
I
And
think Rosalind like pulls Justin and is like, let's practice pointing. And they're just like
you do actually, Stu just point out. Actually, it's a very important part of the judicial code. So the practice is certainly not wasted, and Seth is there as well to kind of like do a little spin pirouette in his clown to help point as well. He's like, I can help too. I always help my friends. And with that, we will call it a break for now. So everybody, if you need to, go to the bathroom, go do grab a drink, get hydrated, and we'll be back for Turnabout Sunken City. Bum ba dum bum ba bum bum. All right, we'll see you all soon. Bye. And we're back, everybody. Welcome back to Awakened Pixels, where the trial of the century is about to go down. Bluebell, the sister of Rosalind the Fairy, has been accused of stealing great and valuable artifacts from the sunken city. And it seems like the trial is happening right now. And to represent Bluebell, we have her ace defense team, Stoobs, Rosalind, Justin, and of course the precocious young clam boy, Seth. Not the most unusual defense team seen in this courtroom, but, you know, still a bit strange. So, you are all standing in this massive, beautiful courtroom. You can see that there is a statue at one end that seems to be depicting some kind of legend or myth-like creature overlooking everything, presiding over the justice that is about to happen in these halls. You also see that the various members of the jury and of the sort of attending audience all usher themselves in, floating over to their seats. Every time they do anything, you just hear... yeah, you're kind of going over last-minute strategies in this moment. Unfortunately, from what you've been able to read of this massive tome that you were given moments before the trial, Stoobs, it seems like a lot of what you're going to have to do is going to be very on-the-fly, reactionary stuff. Not that it matters, you simply do not have a time to build up much of a defense anyway. But you do know that you have to fight it to your last, and that if you are doing something impressive, you have to be as dramatic about it as possible for it to really create an impact. There is a opening of the doors as the Arbiter walks in. You see a sort of grandfatherly-looking merfolk floating in. Big white beard, and also a massive sort of white judge's wig draped over his head, and he's sort of just swimming along. It seems a bit ditzy, a bit out of it. He doesn't seem entirely there. He's just like, he's got like a plate with a sort of a steaming croissant on it. You don't know how it's steaming underwater, but so many things you have questions for. And yes, you hear that somebody yells, "All rise for the..." Excuse me. "All rise for the Arbiter." And the Arbiter's like, with a piece of croissant in his mouth. He's like, sorry. It's okay. Sit down. Don't mind me. I'm not here. Well, no, I am. I'm here to preside over the entire thing. And he kind of like scoots up to his little judge box and sort of leans back like, all right,
I object him
what are we doing?
being the one running it.
He is simply overlooking it. Ultimately, the jury will decide what happens here. Yes, so the judge is there. Bluebell is kind of like is up on the stand, ready to be. Oh, sorry, she's sitting next to you at the moment. Sweating bullets. Seems very nervous right now. She's like, never have I ever done something like this before.
It's okay. You didn't do anything. They're the ones being mean. Be mad, not sad.
Be mad, not sad. Be mad, not sad. Be mad, not sad.
Don't worry, we'll defend you to the best of our combined abilities with the help of this book.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you know that they have 700 different rules about pointing?
What?
Oh, wait, what's rule number 43?
It's talking about pointing during defense while also jump roping?
Fingers must be manicured if they are to be taken seriously in this courtroom.
Let's
Yes.
keep that in mind if we have to jump rope.
So there's a lot of chatter going on right now in the room as people are getting ready for court. But then there is sudden silence that strikes the crowd. And you look over to the doors and you see a silhouetted figure walking in. Very slow, very cool. And you hear their boots clicking on the marble stone floor of this place. And you see a woman with very short hair who is wearing a very nice suit. And she has this very sort of calm but stern look on her face. And as she is walking up to the rest of you, she pays anybody on the defense bench no mind as she goes over to the prosecution table. And she sits down and sort of gently folds her legs and just puts her notes out and starts reviewing them. And immediately, Seth breaks the silence, just kind of appears next to the rest of you, and he says, "Oh my gosh, oh 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 my gosh. Do you know who that is? Do you know who that is?"
No.
No.
Oh, I've only heard legends. Also, I'm just a little boy, so I don't really hear about courtroom stuff that much. But, that's a prosecution lawyer known as Edge Surf. And Edge Surf, she has a really scary reputation. They call her the Tiger Shark because she's never lost a case before.
Really?
She
How many
has-
cases has she had?
Hundreds.
Seems statistically improbable.
Well, we have a lot of cases here in the city.
And she gets notes and we don't?
I don't know. I'm just a boy.
This can't end well. But it will. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Can we say hi? Is that like allowed? Can
Yeah,
we go say
do
hi?
we need to introduce ourselves? Do we have to have like an entrance? Like, what do we do?
You
I'm gonna
suddenly
go say
hear
hi.
a gavel.
Just-
A gavel. Cam, cam, cam. Slams. And the arbiter says, "All right, everybody, order in the court, order in the court. We shall be proceeding. We shall be proceeding."
Wait, why did they get a real lawyer and we don't?
Would you
I honestly don't know.
order, please, order. Now, let's see. This is the trial of one Bluebell, accused of the theft of museum artifacts. Interesting, and of a mysterious mailbag from another dimension. Curious. Let's see. What else here? Cultural significance. Okay, breaking and entering. Very bad. Oh, this is terrible. Currently, if this is all true, you stand to spend life in prison, young lady. What does the defense have to say?
What's this about the mailbag?
We were not informed of what was stolen, so if we could get an itemized list,
Could
including
somebody
the
get these
mailbag.
people the court report? Come on, people. Let's try and keep things moving smoothly here. And silently, a mofo kind of like slides you a little envelope that has various facts about the court session in it, and it informs you all the charges that are set up against Bluebell. Yeah.
What's it say about the mailbag?
It says that was one of the items that was supposedly stolen from the safety of the artifact room in the museum.
Oh, okay, so what happened to them? Did they find them on Bluebell, or are the items
So,
still missing?
wait, if my mailbag was in the artifact room, the mailbag was already stolen.
Ha ha! But what did happen to the items? Does it say on the report where the items are?
Yeah, you quickly kind of scan over it as
Have they been located? Like, where
it
were
says
they
that
found?
that some stolen items were found on the perpetrator, but the majority of the most sort of egregious items were not found. It is suspected they are stashed away somewhere.
Ooh.
So, there's a kind of silence in the court as the judge says, "Defense, you're opening? Guilty or not guilty? What are we doing here?"
No guilt. Or
Not
none.
guilty. We say that Bluebell is not guilty of theft.
All right, moving on. Okay, let's see. Prosecution, go ahead and call your first witness. And you hear the cold voice of Edge Surf as she says, "I call the first witness to the stand. Would Witty Nessie please take the stand?" And you hear the sound of some merfolk come up, flutter over to the stand, kind of sits herself down there. And she says, "Oh, hello everybody. Hello, how's everybody doing?" And the judge says, "Would you please say your name for the court?" And she says, "Well, I'm Witty Nessie." And Witty Nessie says Edge Surf, I have to be very careful. Edge Surf says that, goes up to the witness and says, "Now everybody, members of the court, what I have before you is a witness who saw the perpetrator go in to the museum and then saw them come out later with a sack filled with loot. If I may, I believe that this is an open and shut case, and I will prove it very soon. my witness stands here, and they're about to give their testimony. And Witty Nessie kind of like sits there going, "Oh, is this the part where I get to talk? Oh, how exciting!" Right, yes. So here's how things go, as I remember it. Well, I'm a bit of a drafter, as it were. I like to draw a lot. And so I was drawing our beautiful library stroke museum because the architecture is just sublime. I could go on for hours about it, but I don't want to strain the stenographer's wrists. So let's see. I was drawing it, and during that time, I noticed that the little fairy lady there, she entered the library at precisely 1 p.m. And then, about 15 minutes later, I was packing up my work and getting ready to go, and I noticed her leave at 1:15. She was in there for 15 minutes, and, well, gosh, when she came out, she had this big bag bulging with all sorts of things. And what else to really say from there? I don't know. I think, that it was clearly the museum's artifacts, and that's all I got.
Yeah, it looks like this witness just completely saw you. What are we supposed to do?
Bluebell kind of looks at you and says, I don't know, what does the book say to do?
Oh, what was in your bag? Why did you did you pick anything up?
I'm not on trial here.
Yes, you are!
And the judge kind of slams the gavel and says, "Defense, you may begin your cross-examination."
Yeah, cross-examination. Okay.
And then the words "cross-examination" cover the screen, and you hear psh, psh. And you see Witty Nessie just kind of sitting there. Do-do-do-do-do.
Miss Nettie,
Yes, Nessie.
Nessie, could you confirm for us the time at which you were drawing the library?
Absolutely. Well, I got there around, let's see, 12:30. And I was there for about 45 minutes or so. And the way I know is that the library itself has a big clock on the front. So it was very easy for me to see, and I was very, easy to remember the time. And he kind of murmurs among the audience. And you hear that Seth says, "That's right, there is a big clock right at the front of the library."
And could you please describe for us the person that you saw exiting the library?
Nessie says, "Well, she was sort of a fairy-looking folk, a bit slight, beautiful wings, adorned in blue, kind of really covering it. If she was going for stealthy, she didn't do a very good job." And Blue was like, "Hey, hey!" And she was also really fashionable as well. "That's better, thank you." And the judge is like, "Order, order, order."
So you arrived at your spot outside the library at, you said, 12:30.
Right.
And you noticed the accused leaving the building at 1:15 after entering the building at 1 p.m.
That's right.
Okay.
And
Was
then
there anything else strange about the building itself anywhere during the time you were there?
Not that I noticed, but I was mostly focused on the architecture. But it's ample time to go up to the next floor and grab all the goodies.
Hold
as
it!
were. Ah!
Go up to the next floor.
Yeah, that's where the artifacts were.
The artifacts? Well, the elevator was broken.
That's right!
You kind of like submit this. Actually, yeah, you say that, and to adequately call this out, you need to submit the broken, what I call it, bubble lift, to the rest of the court. So if you would like to, you may yell objection.
Objection!
Gah!
Or take that!
It's objection at the moment.
It is objection. I have evidence of a broken bubble lift.
And there's suddenly a murmur from all around, and everyone's like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." And the judge kind of looks at the evidence the arbiter looks at the evidence you submit and says, "Why, yes, it seems that the bubble lift was out of commission. If that's the case, then there's no way that a surface dweller could have possibly gone to the second floor. Intriguing, very intriguing." And you suddenly hear coming from all over the court, and it seems like just in one fell swoop you've already proven your client's innocence.
Cool. Maybe we can go home now.
But you hear a hold it, and you look over and you see Edge Surf, and she kind of like smiles, taps her head, and she says, "Unlike some of my fellow colleagues, I actually have done my homework, and I have something else I need to submit to the court record, if the Arbiter will allow it." And the Arbiter says, "I don't see why not. What are you submitting?" And Edge Surf says, "You see, there was a maintenance issue with the elevator today, but I'm afraid it's not quite as it seems. I would like to call the janitor known as Red to the stand." There's a bunch of murmuring happening around the courtroom as a very sort of bright red merfolk wearing overalls flutters up to the stand, and he's like, "Well, gosh, look at this! Boy, I never thought I'd be standing up here at one of these here stands. Look at that!"
Oh boy.
And with that, the Arbiter says, "Now, what is this new thing you are adding to the court record here, Edge Surf? Is this a testimony?" And Edge Surf says, "Yes, a new testimony from this person will prove that the defendant could definitely have used the bubble lift during that time." And the Arbiter says, "All right, let's hear it." "All right, so here's the thing. Here's what I was doing, see. I am a maintenance operator of various devices in the city, mostly in the library and in the museum area. And I happened to notice on my little beepy thing here," and he pulls out a crystal on his hip. And he says, "Now this here little doodad kind of informs me when there's a malfunction with any of the devices in this place. And you see, this little doohickey went ahead and beat me when the little lift went out of commission. And if you look at the time," and he kind of like shows the Arbiter what sort of time stamp the crystal has. He says, "Well, if you look at this, it says that the bubble lift was kind of, well, it was working during the time that the person came in. It only broke after they left. So they could have used the lift, I think." And there's suddenly a big murmur from the audience.
Objection.
"Oh, goodness, an objection already. Yes, hello. Defense."
The defense would like to submit another piece of evidence
All
to
right.
the stand.
What have you got?
We have these 3 images taken from the new and amazing submarine screenshot machine.
Hey, that's my invention, you hear from the from the audience.
I push the photos forward with my paw. In order to accurately establish this timeline, you will notice that these all have timestamps on them. Now, our first picture was taken at 12:45 p.m. As you can see, the library building is filled with bubbles. Second picture is taken at 1 p.m. The building has no bubbles. The third picture is taken at 1:15. There are no bubbles. So, we can assume, based upon this, and if we take our first witness testimony to be correct, that at 12:45 is most likely when the lift malfunctioned, and afterwards it was not functioning.
Gah! You suddenly hear everybody yell out, and Red, the janitor, kind of like looks beside himself for a second. And he's like, but that cannot be. I know it was broken at the exact time. I have it here on my beeper, and it's never led me wrong." And the Arbiter says, "Does somebody want to take a look at this beeper and verify what's going on here? I'm very confused. I'm already very confused. I don't know what's happening anymore." And the beeper is handed over to the defense team. And Edge Surf seems to be very quiet in this moment, just very calm, very calculating. You look at sort of the crystalline beeper that Red, the janitor, had. And it does indeed note that there was a sort of malfunction listed exact, more or less, at 1:14, so just before Bluebell supposedly left. However, there is further back in the history, there is an additional breakdown noticed earlier that day at 12:55. And it would seem that either this janitor did fix it, or it fixed itself during that time. It's unclear.
Hmm.
What's the name of the Mr. Red?
It's me, hi!
May I ask a simple question?
Well, I'm a simple guy. I like my things straightforward. Yes, I do.
The system that runs the bubble elevator, is it connected to the other waterworks of the city?
It's kind of a localized grid situation.
So it would not have been connected to the fountain in the square.
No, ma'am. That is a
Okay.
different system.
Just wondering.
Oh, I almost thought you were onto something there.
I was hoping, but
Well, the fact is, either way, it does show that the lift was broken during the time that Bluebell was inside, so it would have been impossible for her to have used it.
yes. So according to our records, the timeline stands that at 12:45 the bubble lift had a malfunction. At 12:55 the first notification to the beeper went out. At
First
1
notification?
p.m.
Wait, hold on a second. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is embarrassing. And you hear Edge Surf just kind of slam the desk and go, embarrassing! And Red says, yeah, so, the system's very, very sophisticated, very high-tech. Sometimes it can sort of sort out smaller problems on its own. I guess, I didn't catch that first one there. Whoops. Sorry. Hope I didn't mess up your court thing too much.
No, you're doing great. Thank you.
Oh, thanks. You're real nice.
What would have caused a malfunction of this caliber?
The Red says, well, gosh, we get kind of little tremors every now and then, a little volcanic activity, and it messes with some of the magical tech systems sometimes. A little bit unpredictable. That's why maintaining it is a full-time job, yes, sir. And why I really need to keep a better eye on my beeper.
We all have bad days.
And so that means that it couldn't have been Bluebell because we stand by the fact that because the bubble lift was broken while she was inside, she couldn't have gotten to the second floor.
And there's like a sudden from all over the court, and the Arbiter kind of sits back and blinks a bit and goes, yeah, wait, yes, that sounds pretty cut and dry. As a surface dweller, it would have been impossible for the defendant to have ascended to the floor to do the theft in the first place, so seems like there's not much else. Prosecution? And you see Edge Surf looking down and says, a quick question, if I may, to the inventor of this device. And pointing at the inventor in the courtroom, who's just like, oh, me? Oh, wait, this is bad. Edge Surf says, if you would mind showing me some of the features of your little screenshots that you have taken here. And very quickly, the inventor comes up and says, oh, I'd be so happy to show you. It's my life's work. And really just like, no, please, just, could you, show me something here? And after a few kind of murmurs between them, you suddenly hear Edge Surf say, with a slam onto the desk, well, Arbiter, it seems we have some new evidence to hand into the court that the defense was kind enough to put right into our hands. And the Arbiter's like, what are you talking about? I don't understand. And Edge Surf says, after we turned off the many quite garish, I might add, filters on the screenshots and enhanced the image a little bit, you'll notice there's something quite interesting that we can all note for the court. And the various pictures are handed to the Arbiter and they're handed to the defense team, and you can see clear as day, well, slightly pixelated, but on one of these screenshots, now with all the filters removed, it is quite obvious that Bluebell is climbing the side of the building using vine magic, and she looks like in a very sort of, she looks straight like a cat burglar, just climbing up.
Oh.
If you did it, then why are you...
I'm gonna turn to Bluebell, just give her a real hard side eye, and just, is there something like an insight check to see if she's lying?
You can be careful or clever to sort of like judge what Bluebell's deal is.
That's a 1. and careful.
Okay. Anything you would like to do to that, or keep it as it is?
I
Would
really
we-
can't think of anything that I don't have any stunts or
Alright.
anything. I don't think there's anything that I can invoke.
With
So
a 1,
yeah.
you feel like there's something, there's something weird here, obviously, but there's too much going on for you to really get a good idea of what that might be. And it doesn't look like Bluebell's ready to give a straight answer.
Are we allowed to have Bluebell be a witness?
Yeah, you can if you
I
want
mean,
to.
yeah, that we should be able to do that.
Would you? If you didn't do it, you'd be willing to testify, right?
Well... and
Blue Bell.
something to note is that your evidence has changed for the pictures. So I'm just going to quickly write in a little thing here. If
Well,
I
why
can...
did you even come to the sunken city?
She says, I mean, I was sort of exploring, sometimes you want to go exploring places, and it was really blue, and I like blue.
You do like blue.
Blue Bell. Sorry, real quick.
It's okay.
No, it's fine.
I should have made 2 of these. Okay. So the new evidence is that in the second picture taken at 1 p.m., the building has no bubbles, and Bluebell can be seen climbing the exterior of the library.
Hmm.
And Seth kind of looks at the rest of you
But-
and says, "This seems a bit conclusive. What are we gonna do?"
There is a gap in the testimony. The woman who was sketching the library said that she saw you enter the library, not that she saw you climbing on the
Climb.
outside. So, were you tell us the truth. Were you climbing the outside of the building?
Bluebell kind of leans in close and goes, "All right, yes, fine, yes, fine. I climbed on the outside, okay? I'm just trying out my
Wha-
magic. I didn't mean to do anything, illegal, kind of, maybe."
Yeah, how did you get vines and not seaweed down here? That's pretty impressive.
It's kind of, the picture's blurry. It's kind of viney seaweed.
Oh, okay.
The arbiter says, "Does the defense have anything to say? Once again, we seem to have gone straight to the side of this. Seems like a clear-cut case of guilt."
Mm.
We would like a recess.
Duh. Very well, we can give you a 5-minute recess. The court will be adjourned soon. Cam!
So here are the things that we know. We know the timeline. We know that the bubble lift was broken. We know that Bluebell was climbing the outside of the building at the time that that bubble lift was broken. Are there any windows on the second floor that would allow her access to the collection?
You can see that there are windows to the second floor. From the court report, you learn that there was no way in to the artifact room aside from a single door. So no window.
Was there any
entry.
evidence of like broken, I don't know if they have glass in these windows or like
There was
any
no
sign of
forced
forced
entry.
entry?
No.
Okay, but we don't have
Well, I
an
guess.
evidence.
Sorry, I guess the displays were cracked open.
but not the windows. There's like forced entry into the building, not necessarily
No,
into display
But the
cases.
windows also weren't locked.
Okay.
Oh, there's no evidence of this, which means we can't give it, even though it seems logical.
Yeah. Can I look at the census?
Okay.
Um,
you pull out the
I-
census.
What information does it give us about our three witnesses? How many have we had? 2 witnesses?
You've had Witty
Nessie.
Nessie,
Right?
Red Janitor, and that's all so far.
And then the photography woman.
Yes, that was less of a testimony and more of just to help me, look at these
Yeah.
pictures better. Yeah, you kind of like look them up. It takes a big list, and you look through, and it's basically sort of very general sort of geographical information of like what district they live in, the sort of regions, both technologically and magically that they lay on. A lot of it seems quite, what's the word? Unimportant.
Dry.
Yeah, dry.
Okay. Okay. So
Remember, if at any point you would like to do a roll of any kind to sort of like see things, feel free.
So we know for a fact that there were at least 2 witnesses to Bluebell entering the building, and that's the sketching woman and the photography woman. But they both saw different things.
Yeah.
The sketching woman saw Bluebell enter at 1 p.m. Into the front doors, and the photographer saw Bluebell climbing into the back at 1 p.m.
I mean, she could have entered.
And the
then I
photographer
can't
has
help,
a
and then-
photo, so we should be able to say, like, objection that she didn't enter, she climbed.
That
Revise
doesn't
your
help
statement.
anything.
Well, she climbed the building, which brings into question the first testimony. But
I mean, how did she
She
break through the
also
window? We don't have
entering.
like glass or anything proving
They
that she
were,
actually
they were-
got
the,
in.
windows, the windows were open, so
The windows were
they were
open.
unlocked.
Mm,
So it's possible. There's nothing we can say about that. But I think our best course of action would be to question the first witness's testimony and say that you said she entered the building, but she was climbing the building. What's up with that? And make her revise her testimony.
okay, that makes sense. I want to talk to Edgy. I want to see what her deal is in this recess.
She's clearly quite busy, and there's no
I'm gonna go-
fraternization allowed.
There's not. They won't let us.
Yeah.
Like just. Okay, that's not fair.
yeah, so you can't stilt the case. Okay, so we're gonna bring into question the first
First witness.
testimony.
All right.
And I think.
I think
At this point, Seth kind of goes, "You know what'll really help us focus? A puzzle. I've got one."
my God.
And you are suddenly dragged into the puzzle space. And he says, "You know, I got reminded of this because this puzzle, I saw like the judge's floofy wig, and it reminded me of a nice puzzle. Okay, here we go. So in Roman numerals, the number 9 is 1x. Okay? Now my question is, how do you turn that 9 into a 6 with but 1 mark?"
An eraser.
Well, a 6. Roman
You have to
numeral-
flip them, right?
No, because a 6
Or oh,
is a 6 in
5
Roman
is
numerals
V1.
VI.
I love how none of you need this right now.
and you only have 1 mark. Do you get to erase any of them? Do you get to move
Nope.
them, or you just have to mark a new one?
You just have to make a single mark, and that makes a 6. And you feel your
You
hint.
know who you should tell this to? You should tell it to Edgy. You should.
What?
You feel your hint vouchers vibrating.
These puzzles. I'm always so bad at them.
I
I
feel like the answer is gonna be obvious, and I'm gonna hate myself.
course
It's,
it is.
You're gonna not like me when I tell you.
I pull out one of the vouchers.
It disintegrates before your eyes. And Seth is able to tell you. He says, "Okay, well, you can add 1 mark to create 6. I didn't say it had to be the Roman numeral 6.
You just write 6.
With a single mark. How do you turn 9 into 6?
You flip it upside down.
No,
Nope. A single mark.
a single mark
Oh, single mark. 9.
to a 6. Does a 6 look like? 6.
Remember that a 9 is 1x, right?
Yes,
So how do you make a 6?
from 1x. Oh, you write the letter X and S in front of it.
Oh my god!
Suddenly, an explosion happens, and he's like, "That's right. To turn a 9 into a 6, you just write an S at the beginning. It's easy." Did you like my puzzle, Mr. Justin?
I loved your puzzle.
Oh gosh, oh jeez. Oh, Ray on a tray. That's great. Well, I hope this really helped everybody clear their heads.
On one level, I enjoyed it. On another level, I am primally angry.
And Seth says, "Oh no, but I have to give you a gift and I don't have anything." Well, the wig reminded me of this puzzle because it's like a squiggly line. Squig, wig. So I can just... Can I just... Here you go. And then suddenly the wig pops in your inventory.
What?
And you hear the Arbiter just kind of like flex for a second. He's like, what just happened? Wig is still on its head, by the way. It's just suddenly now available to you.
I feel like we are discounting the use of magic in this world as well. Like, is it possible that someone could falsify the record or...
Oh yeah, totally. I thought about that before. That, you know, there's a lot of magic. You could have people make an illusion of them. You could have people use brainwashing. Like, all of that's possible, but I kind of feel like people here are more technology based and they're just going to dismiss it and be like, you're a fairy, you're the only one with magic around.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Sorry, Miss Rosalind.
No, it's okay. You've done nothing wrong. You're great. You know what? You should share your puzzles with everyone. You should share them with Edgy right now. You should go.
I'll see if I'm allowed. And he kind of like starts swimming over.
Oh no. Oh
All right.
no.
I believe in you. You're adorable. How can they say no to that face?
Ever since I learned that my bag of post is somehow
In
related
the evidence?
we must solve it because I need to get that back.
Well, and I don't want my sister to go to jail.
That too.
I'm gonna turn to Bluebell and I'm just gonna say, I want you to tell us everything that you did from noon to the point that you were arrested. And no lying and no omitting anything.
Is this my testimony?
Right
No,
now
this
you're
is-
just talking to us.
You're just talking to us.
Okay. So, here's what I did. I came down here, you know, looking for things, stuff. I've been living a pirate life for a while, so I thought, you know, let's get looting. You know how it goes. Right, Rosalind?
Yeah, totally. I'm here for
Okay,
piracy.
yes. Alright, well, so here's the thing. I went to find that there was a really nice place that had all these cool artifacts and things, and, well, when I heard about it, I always thought, okay, I should go in there and I should see what they got. But then, okay, I admit, I did kind of slightly break in ever so slightly. I did use my magic to get up there, but I promise I didn't steal any artifacts. I didn't even know there were any around. There's just a bunch of doors up there and they weren't labeled or anything. So I went, you know, explored the library for a bit. Maybe took a few books. It's no big deal, right? You meant to take books, right?
Yeah, totally. I don't know. I've never been to the
Check out
library.
books from a library. Do you have a library card?
No.
That is technically stealing.
Okay, but that shouldn't make someone arrested for life.
No, it shouldn't.
I promise I
What?
didn't steal. I didn't touch any of those artifacts. I don't know anything about them.
But many were found in your possession. How did they come to be in your possession?
They just found the books in my possession and they assumed that I took the artifacts and stashed them somewhere.
The witness said you exited the library with a bag bulging with material.
Yep.
It was the book.
The books.
That was
Well,
just
we
the
were
books.
pretty small. The books are going to take up a huge bag. Actually, how big are the artifacts? Can you even carry them, Bluebell?
I don't know. I haven't seen them before. I don't know.
Mr. Judge Person!
Yes, yes. Are we ready to stop
How
the
big are
recess?
the artifacts?
Oh
Because
no.
we're small, and carrying big things is hard, and I can't do that, and I don't think Bluebell can either. How big are they?
He says, for the purposes of display, they were reduced down to a very fine size.
You shrunk them?
Yes. Well,
can
I
do
didn't,
that?
personally.
So you guys have magic people going around shrinking things.
It's more of a machine, really. Kind of
You
cleans
have a
things.
shrink machine?
Yes. Not my area of expertise. Anyway, it's our recess done. We really should be getting on.
Yes.
So, are we...
All right, court is back. Bam!
Okay.
All right. Now, where did we leave off? What's happening? And Edge Surf says, well, we have a clear burglar on our hands, and there's not much else to say other than guilty.
Objection.
Hold it. Objection.
Very half-hearted, object-shouldered. And the arbiter looks away and says, "Yes. What is your objection?"
We would like to question the first witness again.
Another cross-examination. Very well, but we can only do so many of these before we have to call it. All right, bring up the witness. Take the stand. And witty Nessie sits back in and says, "I'm back again. Oh."
It says here on the court record that in your statement, you said you saw at 1 o'clock the witness, the accused enter the building.
Uh-huh.
But we have a photograph in which the witness is climbing the building. That's a contradiction.
There's a sudden as Nessie kind of like flies back for a second and goes, What? Wait, hold on. No, I swear, I was looking at the clock the entire time. I know exactly when somebody walked into that library. There's no mistake in my mind. She absolutely walked in at 1 p.m.
You know, I'm sure that you would be absolutely certain.
Hmm?
Where were you at noon?
At noon? I was at
Yes.
home, getting ready to do some sketches.
All right. Where were you at 12:45?
12:45. Let's see. I think I was on my way. I was getting a nice bite to eat, and I came to get set up.
Hold on. What could I look at the record to see
Yes.
what time the on our little gem thingy,
Yes.
what
The pager.
time the person who came to fix the elevator would have walked in the door?
So when Red would have walked into the library?
Yeah,
Is that
like
what you're
what time on the thing did he get the notification saying something was broken?
12:55, I think.
Yes, that was for the previous one, and for the most recent one, it was 1:14 p.m.
Because if he got the one at 1:55, he could have been the one to walk into the library to fix the bubble lift.
It seems, based on his reaction in court, that he seemed to have missed that first notification.
So
Okay.
what was she drawing?
She was drawing the library.
Not the museum, just the library?
They're the same.
Okay.
It's the same building, yeah.
Was she drawing the artifacts or just the...
Just the exterior. You can actually
Just the
see she
exterior?
brings some of her sketches as well and shows them off. Very nice. You don't know how charcoal gets on paper in this sea, but there you go.
What time does the clock say in the drawings?
In the drawing, it says probably what her initial sketch would have been, which would have been around 12:30, 12:45 or so.
God,
she
for
said-
a second there, I thought she might have done it,
She
but
says,
I'm not sure now.
I promise. I know this is against photo evidence, but I definitely saw that person right there go through those doors at 1 p.m.
But you did not see her climbing the building.
Well, I was on the other side.
Up to
The other side.
The photo takes a picture of kind of the back and rear of the library, and she's climbing up that way. And the sketches are of the front of, and the testimony is that she walked in that way. And at this point, the judge is saying, no, hold on. Are you telling me there's... Which one is it then? What's going on here? Defense,
There's
explain.
conflicting evidence that she was both at the back of the building and at the front of the building at 1 p.m.
So what does this mean?
It means that someone's lying. I
Duh!
don't think it's the photographs.
Lying in this court? That's perjury! Perjury, I say! So the question now, defense, is who? What's going on here? What is this ruckus? And you just hear the entire court.
Justin looks around the room, just kind of like, as this is going on,
Mhm.
they scan the faces of everyone here,
Okay.
trying to see who
Looks guilty.
looks guilty.
Okay. Go ahead and roll careful to carefully deduce who the guiltiest person in this room appears to seem.
Ooh,
The answer
can we help?
is Bluebell.
Oh boy.
with that one you just got. Prosecutor, can you help clear things up? Why are there two of the defendants? What's going on here? Is it a twin situation? We had one of those a while back. That was nasty.
No, there's all of my sisters are color coded. Bluebell's the blue one. There's none of the other ones are blue.
This almost sounds like a puzzle.
The puzzle vortex starts to appear. And the arbiter is unwittingly just sucked into it.
What just happened?
There's no time for a puzzle. In
I
fact,
have we have a problem here, and I have a stunt that allows me to force an obstacle to be a puzzle.
okay.
So how is she on two sides of the building at the same time?
All right. Once per game, you can indeed turn any confrontation into a puzzle. How can she be in two places at the same time? The truth of the matter is that one of those people is not Bluebell. They just look very similar.
Someone
As
who
far as
looks
your
like
puzzly brain can interpret
Bluebell.
it.
Or someone who can assume the appearance of Bluebell.
Yeah, you can see that your kid sidekick speaks up and he says, "But I don't understand. Bluebell was the only fairy we've ever seen down here, and the second one was you, Rosalind. So unless it was you who came in before her somehow, but that doesn't make any sense."
No, I met you first. You were the first person I met.
I don't get
And
it.
all of my other sisters are at a shrine or something.
Spooks, I will give you. Sorry, Justin, I will give you this one thing. From the one that you rolled. Red's face is doing something weird, and you can't interpret its meaning with a one, but he's doing something.
What?
Hmm.
Someone was
man.
using illusion magic, maybe.
I'm gonna turn it. Yeah, I'm gonna ask. Set. Is there anyone here who can use magic?
I mean, most people use Magitech, but there's not really a whole lot of magic in that anymore. It's just pipes and stuff. A lot of hydraulics.
I think it's highly suspicious that Red didn't notice. That was Red, right? The
Yes, the janitor.
Yeah.
fixer didn't notice the first malfunction.
That's true. Especially when you said that you have to be very careful with systems like this and that he takes pride in his work.
I'd like to question him on this.
Okay, you calling him to the stand?
I'm calling him to the stand.
All right, you call Red the janitor to the stand. Nessie departs, and Red comes back again, and the arbiter says, "All right, only so much swapping in and out of witnesses we could do here. Do your cross-examination. Let's get underway. We're running out of time. Let's go. And Red takes the stand. He's like, "Oh gosh, I'm back again. Ha, howdy. What's going on?"
We wanted to press you
Yeah.
on something you said. You said you take a lot of pride in your job. And as someone who also takes a lot of pride in my job, I would be deeply embarrassed by a mistake like this. And in fact, I would
I
never
am.
make one.
I'm a red fish. I couldn't turn much redder.
So I have to ask you, it's highly suspicious you missed this first notification. What were you doing at 12:55?
I was cleaning a radiator.
Is there anyone here who can corroborate that?
Well, no, I'm the only technician that works at the museum.
Are there any guards?
You hear objection, and Edge Surf kind of slams down on the desk and says, "Your Honor, this is a complete waste of time. They're just working on conjecture to try and get away from the main point that the defendant is guilty. We have clear photo evidence. There's no more we need to discuss about the janitor." And the judge goes, "Oh, sorry, the arbiter. God." The arbiter's like, well, do you have any evidence, defense team? Anything that proves that this janitor did not, purposefully or otherwise, did not, do what he's saying he's doing?
I
Oh dear. Then it
I
seems.
look at Justin like, do we have
It seems I shall have
As
to.
someone who's very dedicated to my work, as my postal worker badge exemplifies,
Hold on, is this new evidence being submitted? What is this? What am I looking at?
it's my postal worker badge. It says postal worker on it.
Your badge.
Yes.
What are we meant to do with this? I'm going to have to give the defense a penalty. Bam! And you all take a point of stress as you lose.
Oh my god!
As you lose a bit of composure from this entire thing. And the arbiter shakes his head and says, well, it seems like we need to get some facts straight. We're going to take one more recess, and then by the end of that, if this isn't sorted out, then the verdict will be guilty. Recess starts now. Bam!
Where's the maintenance guy who was working on the fountain?
Not there. He is just a random
God
dude.
damn it! Can I examine the pipe that we have?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you want to...
Yeah, I don't know. Everything else
He's
has been used as
holding it
evidence.
and rotating it. The sponge has not been used as evidence. And
Sponge has not been used as
the
evidence.
census has not been
don't see
used.
how
And the
the
wig has not been
sponge-
used.
If we look through the census, can we find this red dude in there?
Yes, you can. And actually, as he kind of like departs the stand, one of you, there's no perception in this game, so I don't know who, one of you notices that a little piece of paper is surreptitiously dropped out of his pocket near the defense bench.
Yeah?
I pick it up.
Okay, Stoops, you pick it up, and now there's just a bunch of dog slobber on it.
I thought it would go into my inventory, but okay. I
Justin,
put it on the desk. I
Uh,
assume it's waterproof.
Yeah, I mean, what even is water anymore? You look at the note, and it has a sort of a hastily scrawled thing on it, and it says, "The Muse might know if you can make her remember."
The who?
Muse, M-U-S-E.
So we should call Muse on the stand.
They said it was, yeah, the museum home of the muses. What the?
What are the Muses?
Is that literal?
You can ask.
Ask Seth. Yeah. Can we ask Seth?
Or you can roll for lore, do an internet search.
Oh god. Let's ask Seth first, and then if that doesn't bring anything up, I will possibly do an internet search.
Seth
Ability
says,
so high.
Seth says, the Muses are in a museum, I know that much. Don't know much else beyond that, I'm afraid. I like puzzles.
I know, buddy.
Okay, I do an internet search for the muses of the sunken
Okay.
city.
You
Damn
do
it, Thomas!
a quick,
Instability!
you do a quick look up. Go ahead and roll clever with your bonus from your stunt,
Oh,
and I
I
will add to the
Hate
instability.
this. I hate it so much.
So 4 total.
This is 4, yeah.
Okay. You look into the Fantasia wiki, 9 contributors, and you find that there is a little bit written about the sunken city. There are no real useful notes for you aside from how to navigate the labyrinthine dead city, how to fight the Marrow, and strategies for the Kraken boss fight that comes after that. You go down to the little notes and trivia section, however, and you notice this little section that says cut content. And some of the content of this game is basically post-game content in the Sunken City. It was all scrapped in the end, so in Phantasia, everything stopped as soon as the Lightsworn heroes did what they need to do here. But there was more. And from that, you kind of like gleaned that there are various different districts that were planned, different things the Lightsworn heroes could do, more quests that would show up, and one of them would be given to you by one of the muses at the museum. And it describes it as one of the statue people who permanently reside on the second floor of the library museum area.
We about to call to the stand statues.
They would not be able to show up, unfortunately.
There's no way that we could get up there because the bubble lift is broken.
I mean, I can make a vine.
Are we able to question the muse?
You could run out and just during the recess if you want to.
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, yeah, just
Let's
go.
absolutely booking it.
Okay, you run out. You fail to hear Edge Surf's snide comment about running with your tail between your legs. Bluebell kind of sits there like, okay, I'll just stay here.
My tail
I
is a
guess."
little nubbin. There's no way that it could ever be between my legs.
And you all sprint to the museum, hoping that you can figure out what you need to do before the recess comes up. But there's one small matter to attend to first, which is the instability added from
God
utilizing
damn it!
Stoops' glitch.
Here
That's
we
a
go,
5,
here we go.
folks.
Oh no!
What are we at?
So long.
That brings the
Our
instability
duels with
to
Zen.
over 20, which is going to trigger
Oh, God.
a Maya
Oh, no.
event.
Oh no!
As you're
The
running
sun is
through
so
the streets,
soon.
there is a massive kind of just blanketing of various places around you, as though blocks of this city are just disappearing. And you see all that is remaining is a single white square, wherever it is, just massive. And then boom, another one, boom, another one, and another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And soon you find yourselves running as fast as you can, but you have no real idea of a direction to run into. And then a white square appears directly where you're all standing. And you suddenly all fall. And fall, and fall, and fall, and fall, and you continue falling, seemingly downward forever, beyond through whatever ground exists there. Then you look, what would be up, at where you are falling from, and you notice that the formation of a grid is beginning. And within this grid, numbers, boom, 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 are popping. And you can see that you are now just floating in this kind of strange dream space, suspended above the deadly and most terrifying puzzle of all, a Sudoku square.
Oh god damn it!
Oh.
I started this.
Also, you all take 2 stress.
No.
Oh no!
As the entire
Just
reality
like-
around you gets taken
Wait.
away.
That puts me at 3 then.
Puts
So
you at
you should have the first one checked and then the second one checked.
yeah, because you all
Okay.
healed.
Yeah.
Oh wait, then we're at 2.
Okay. This is gonna be a group group roll, basically, to see how
Thank you
well.
for not actually making me do this because I'm terrible at number games.
So you're gonna all roll clever. I'm afraid there's not much else you can do, unless anybody would like to create an advantage. Then you could potentially boost somebody else's clever by creating aspects.
I think I'll try to create an aspect.
Okay, what kind of advantage would you like to create in this situation, Rosalind, as you're kind of floating in this space?
I'm gonna try to use some magic to just kind of like stabilize whoever's trying to get a good look and figure things around, and just kind of like boost them up so they can see more with
Sure.
some vines.
A little kind of mobility thing sounds good. Yeah, go ahead and roll flashy for that, and we'll see if you create an aspect. You did! You successfully created an aspect with a free invocation. We will just call this Rosalind's Assistance. Would either of you like to invoke this aspect at this time?
I mean, if Justin did, then you would get what, a +2, right? So you'd
Mhm.
be up to 5. So do you want to do that?
I also have like an aspect of my own that it could probably help me in this
Sure.
situation.
This one is currently free, so any others you do would cost you a fate point, and it would be added to my pool.
Okay. But is this supposed to be like a group thing? Do we all have to like get
Oh
good?
yeah, we all have to.
It's the sum of Stoob's and Justin's rolls.
Okay, so if we just added 2 to either of our scores, that would come out to 7.
Yes.
Okay. But
Well, Rosalind, who do you lift up?
Oh,
I think
boy.
Stoops is easier.
plus Stu's is probably just like rolling.
Yeah, just like I can't.
Like with
I can't.
no.
Zero gravity corgi. Fantastic. You notice as you're puzzling away at this massive Sudoku sheet that there is just red lightning that is slowly spreading throughout this realm that you find yourselves in, and what more, whatever small kind of like sense of existence around you seems to be disappearing piece by piece. There is just a black border that is slowly closing in. With every passing second, you are running out of time.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay. So yes, I will take Rosalind's assistance, and
Okay.
then Justin, do you have something you want to invoke?
Snow nor rain nor gloom nor gloom of night will sway me from my postal duty, and I have a bag to retrieve, so this place cannot disappear. And apparently, neither will encroaching glitches will also not sway me from my postal.
Okay. Love it. All right, so go ahead and spend a fate point to invoke that. Then I get a fate point, and that brings your total up to a 9, which is exactly what you needed for Sudoku, because Sudoku, get it?
Aha!
And with that, you finally set off a chain reaction where you're able to fill in the final numbers. It was a harrowing puzzle to solve. You had to fill in so many little notes in the margins, all with the threat of this existential doom closing in on you. But Justin and Stoobs, you managed to solve the Sudoku. You see all the rows light up, and suddenly everything flashes back to normal. Instability is going to be set back down to 0 once more. And
We just clipped straight through the floor.
you can currently see that the sunken city is directly above you, and you're looking through the graphics a little bit, and you're clearly in a place you're not meant to be right now. And the game desperately tries to correct the error, and in doing so, another 6 instability is added.
Ooh.
But you are all safely returned back onto a street of the sunken city with a sudden jolt as you kind of slam onto the cobblestone. Relatively okay, all things considered.
Okay.
Worse.
We don't
not
have
gonna
time
lie.
to process that. We
Just
need to go.
All right, you're not missing a beat. You run over to the library museum, and what is the plan? Are you going to go directly for the kind of a back entrance vine grab, or are you going to go just inside? What are you doing?
I'm just doing vines.
Okay,
Yeah, whatever's fastest. Just
you kind of
get
do it
in
over
there.
the clock as well, and just start climbing up these vines that Rosalind has set out for everybody, and you make it to the second floor, something that somebody, a surfacer, should not be able to do without a bubble lift, but you do it. And while you're here, it's a grand, beautiful complex, a lot of kind of hallways, and bridges over the library. You notice that there are a number of different doors here, and each one in front of it has a statue of a woman who seems to be completely immobile, but that is what you see.
Okay. So
Um,
there's 4 muses, right?
Justin
Or-
will tap on
You
one
notice
of their
there are
shoulders.
6 of these muses in this
Oh, there's
museum.
6. Okay. Never mind.
Justin taps on the nearest one's shoulder and says, "Pardon me."
You can see that it kind of it reaches a sort of a piece of what to call it? Uh oh. I'm having instability issues now. Let's see. It holds up a blank sheet of paper towards you.
It's
maybe
blank.
try
Need
writing
a
on it.
name? Yeah.
Justin takes out the pen that miraculously works underwater
Uh-huh.
and writes, "Hi."
Okay. As soon as you do that, the letters fade into the paper, and you see that the statue of the muse suddenly starts animating a little bit, and it says, "Hello, I am the Paleo Muse. I oversee writing. Welcome to the writing exhibit."
Whoa.
Oh, it's like it doesn't. Okay.
And the door opens, and you see that there are various kind of historical tomes, a lot of about the history of writing in the Sunken City, their rich culture, which you absolutely have no time to look into at this moment.
Is there a bag of post?
No.
Just try writing on it. Say like, who did you see, or like, did you see someone?
Did you see someone take crossed out steel exhibits?
The
Question mark.
writing fades into the paper once again, and just like last time, the muse goes, "Hello, I am the Paleo Muse, and I oversee the writing exhibit."
Oh.
Oh no. What
Maybe-
exactly did the paper we got say again?
Which paper was this? Oh, the one from Red.
Yes.
Mhm.
It said, "The muse might know if you can make her remember." And there are 6 muses.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the next muse and tap on their shoulder and say hello.
I don't know which one this is going to be. Someone's going to roll a d5. Bam. It's the third one. Okay. You kind of like tap on its shoulder, you say hello, and immediately it responds to you and opens up the door. It says, "I am the Linguista Muse. I oversee language," and shows you the language exhibit.
They're going to just go to every single one of them
yeah.
and try
what
to
are
figure
they
out which
all?
exhibits they all are.
Okay. Basically, like going through each of them and sort of like reading various. You kind of, I think, at some point, Seth comes in with a pamphlet. He's like, "Do you want a pamphlet that shows you what's going on?"
Yes.
And he's like,
Yes, actually.
Puzzle solved. As you open up the pamphlet, and you see that there are 6 muses: the Onoma Muse, the Aesthetic Muse, the Linguista Muse, the Paleo Muse, the Musico Muse, and the Horror Muse. You know that from the pamphlet, the Onoma Muse is the one that supposedly has the artifacts all on display. And you identify which one this is, and you head on over to this statue, and it just kind of sits there doing nothing.
Fuck.
Greetings.
It does nothing.
What is this? The Onoma Muse?
Yes. And looking into the pamphlet, you can see that its domain is over the true names of things.
Huh. True names? So like, is it
Nice.
code names? Like in the game, like the stuff that they.
It's more like. I mean, I have a hunch, but
Do it,
it
Stu.
could be wrong. So, usually when you talk about like the true name of things, you're talking about sort of a magic system wherein if you understand something's true nature and possess its true name, you exert power over it.
Mhm.
So we might need to know its true name in order to interact with it.
How are we going to figure out its true name?
Sounds like it's a puzzle.
And yet, no puzzle vortex appears.
Ooh.
Okay. So it doesn't. Does it respond to the name Onoma Muse or
It does not.
anything? Okay.
It does seem to be sort of posed in a listening kind of way.
My name is Stoobs.
There's a sudden reaction from the statue as it looks down, and it repeats the word, "Stoobs. Welcome to the name exhibit. Here we have our finest artifacts on display for everybody to see." And the door opens up, and you can see a bunch of guard tape and crime scene do not cross. You see a bunch of smashed displays and the interior of kind of the artifact room.
Was Bluebell here?
And the muse kind of like cocks the head and goes, "Bluebell, this is not your true name."
It's someone else's true name.
And then you just hear, "Error detected, error detected, error detected. Would you like to apply a creator override?"
Yes.
when you say that, there's a sudden sort of like shift and twist of the magitech that flows through all the things in the sunken city, and this muse suddenly goes, and you hear a more kind of tin-y voice say, "Hello, welcome to the Muse Utility Software Interface Crystal, or Music. Please input your password."
I just typed password.
Incorrect password. It has been 1,360 years since your last login. Would you like to see your password hint?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh no.
Into the puzzle vortex you all fall like animals stepping on a snare. And at this point you're very used to it, but it's still very it's just unnecessarily shocking the way it does it sometimes. Yes, you can see that the muse stands before you in this quasi-puzzle realm, and it says to you... what does it say to you? It says, "There is a single word that opens this door. Once long ago, there was a princess who was traveling by her seahorse-drawn carriage, and she, along the traveling road to a new kingdom, saw an unusual sight. She saw 3 mystical doors that appeared before her right there on the road. One was made of gold, shining with light. Another was made of silver, reflective and pristine. And the final door was made of bronze, beautifully sculpted, seashells adorning it. My question is, which door did the princess open first?"
Do we get more than one try? I ask.
Incorrect.
Okay.
Password.
Oh, I wouldn't test it
Could
too
you
much.
repeat the
Attempts
description of the
remaining.
doors?
1.
Oh god. Could you repeat the hint?
The description of the doors.
Description of the doors. 1 was made of gold, shimmering with light. Another made of silver, reflective and pristine. The final door was made of bronze, beautifully sculpted seashells adorning it. Which door did the princess open first?
Okay, so the first one is shimmering, the second one is reflected, and the third one is sculpted.
Would you like to hear the hint again?
Yes.
Yes.
Long ago, there was a princess traveling by her seahorse-drawn carriage, and she saw a strange sight when 3 mystical doors appeared before her on the road. One was made of gold, shimmering with light. Another was made silver, reflective and pristine. The final door was made of bronze, beautifully sculpted seashells adorning it. Which door did the princess open first?
Marriage door?
Correct. And suddenly, you see that above your head, Rosalind, the little fireworks go off, and Seth is like, "Oh my gosh, Rosalind, you got one! That was incredible! How did you know? How did you know?"
No.
That's wonderful. I never would have guessed it.
And you see
Yeah.
the muse says, "Creator mode accessed. Memory logs accessed. Would you like to access the most recent entry?"
Yes.
Yes.
There's a weird sort of Xerox sound as just paper comes out of the muse's mouth, and it has a bunch of coding jargon, a lot of it, but it does list a number of timestamps and a number of names of people who have tried to use this door before. And when you see it, suddenly you know you've got it in the bag. So,
What does it say?
we leap back to the courtroom. There's a hustle and a bustle. Edge Surf looks a little confident, ready to call this another win. The Arbiter sitting up there, sort of dozing off a tiny bit. Seth comes up to the rescue and he says, "I don't entirely know what this means, but I trust you. I think you can do it." And the Arbiter says, all right, we've had enough of recesses for this particular trial. Now it's time to decide once and for all, guilty or not guilty. So, defense, have you anything to add? Anything to shine a light on why there are 2 of the defendant?
We would
Yes.
like to submit as evidence to the court this log.
And yeah, it's like, what log is this? Give us a description.
The log from the... How did you say?
It was from the muse, is fine.
From the muse, who guarded the exhibit that was plundered.
The Arbiter says, "I was to understand that such what kind of log is this? I didn't think there was anything that they kept.
A visitor
Well,
log.
You see, to enter the room, you must speak your true name.
Yes.
So, looking at this documented log, you can see the true names of everyone who entered.
You see the judge's eyes kind of snap open. He's like, log. And you see that the name at the exact time of the fest that is printed upon this little screen of yours is one Arby Tur.
Ooh. Dun, dun, dun.
I encourage you all to play the Discord music if you have it available right now, because
Oh
we're in that
God.
phase of the turnabout. And you see that Edge Surf goes and just flies backwards, slams her fist down, and goes, "No, no!"
I called you to the stand as a witness.
The judge kind of like leans back for a second, eyes wide open. He says, "What? Me? But you're calling
No,
me
the-
to the stand?"
Edge Surf.
Edge Surf goes, "What? Why?"
No, wait. I got the wrong name.
Gah! Enough of this frivolity! Another strike against you! Bam! You all take a point of stress.
Oh,
Oh,
What is the meaning of this? Somebody explain this right now.
what was the name again?
Arbiter.
arbiter.
Arbiter. Yes.
Arbiter.
the
Wait, hold on though, guys. How much stress have we built up since we had 2 already, right?
You should all have all 3 of your boxes gone at this point.
Okay.
Anything we take after this is gonna have consequences.
I'm
Ugh.
so sorry. That was my
No, it's
fault.
okay.
One of them
It's
was for a joke.
You've been doing so good. Oh my god, I love Justin and you're
Holy
killing it.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Arbiter. That sounds like the Arbiter himself.
The Arbiter's head flies backwards. He says, "Me?" And you can see Edge Surf is just like racking their brains, like, how is this possible? What is going on? Arbiter kind of like looks to you and then cocks his head a little bit, and he says, "Well, this proves nothing. It could be any Arbiter who lives in this city. It's a popular name, don't you know?"
Is it?
Yeah, look at the
I-
census.
the census.
Good.
Yeah, I pull out the census.
I'm gonna need to hear an objection.
Objection!
Ah! You object, and you throw down the census onto the ground. And what do you say?
You will find that there is only one arbiter. This
And you kind of flip through the census and you point to the exact point where it is. And yes, indeed, there is only one arbiter in
Oh
this
my God.
entire city. And the arbiter's like, "Grr, grr," and starts sweating a little bit. He gets a little bit nervous. And at this point, the arbiter kind of like leans back a little bit. You see a lot of his chin. He's doing a sort of then perish sort of look at you all, and he says, "This proves nothing. I have no motive. For what motive would I possibly have taken those artifacts? Tell me."
They never asked Bluebell's motive. Motive doesn't matter.
At this point, you hear, "Take that!" Coming from Edge Surf, and Edge Surf says, "Sir, I believe I have something on the court record that you yourself said at the very beginning of this trial, before any of the defendants even arrived, and I submit it to the court evidence." And everyone's like, What? And Edge Surf says, "Did you not say, when speaking with me earlier today, quote, that mailbag is filled with puzzles, the answers to which have basically become a new currency around here. If you've got the bag, you're making yourself the most powerful person in this city. Are these not your words, Arbiter?" And the Arbiter takes a moment, blinks, and then just goes, and you see that, like, his wig is flying around, his beard is flying around, he slams onto this thing, he's slamming his gavel, and he says, "Order! Order! Order in my court! I am the Arbiter, and I will not have accusations thrown against me by you newts! You terrible, pathetic newts! And he says, you can't possibly, you can't think that. I'm already the Arbiter. I already have such power. Why would I seek more power? Why? Tell me.
Greed. Plain and simple.
You do not have greed to submit as evidence, unfortunately. But,
Ooh.
the entire courtroom is shaking from this entire thing, everything hinging on this one moment. And he says, well,
We got a pipe, a sponge, and a wig.
I know,
Can I
like what?
examine the wig? I'd like to look at it.
it's on his head currently, so you can't actually really look at it. Beyond what
Well,
you
we
see.
have the wig.
No, it's on his head still, it's just you have it in your presenting.
Okay, so we have a pipe and we have a sponge.
Well,
Um,
we do have a wig. Maybe he's bald and projecting, and that's why.
You notice that Seth looks mortified right now. He's like,
Sad.
fellow defenders, I think
What?
I just realized something.
What?
What if he never died? What if he respawned?
The marrow. He's
So-
taking over the city from the inside out.
The what?
The bad guy that the Light's Torn heroes defeated.
This is actually an adventure game, not a puzzle game. So we do have like villains who do like villainous things. This is like
Villain, but I don't think I know this plot yet.
it's okay. I'll fill you in, and I like pull Justin aside and I give him like a rundown of here's how an adventure story works.
While that's happening, bricks are starting to fall down in the courthouse. The entire kind of energy that the Arbiter is exuding right now is strong enough to shake the very foundations. What are you doing?
Give
Take
me
off your
my
wig!
bag of
We know your
post
true
back.
identity.
Hold on, one at a time.
Okay, you go, Justin.
I just said, give me my bag of post back.
He says, I don't have it. What are you talking about? How dare you accuse me, the Arbiter?
You're not the Arbiter.
Arbiter.
What? How could you possibly say such a thing? Where is the evidence?
Remove your
wig.
wig.
Remove the wig.
Gonna need an objection.
Objection!
You yell objection, and he says, How dare you object that? You saw it! The Arbiter is my true name! What could you possibly have as evidence to say I am not the Arbiter?
You're wearing a wig.
And with that, take that. The wig flies off of the Arbiter's head, revealing a long, dangling lure. That of an
Oh,
anglerfish,
God.
that of the marrow, and this twisted figure suddenly looks down. So you figured it out. And then, at this point, Edgesurf is kind of looking a bit astonished, but is also pointing very hard and saying, Your evil attempt to take over this place has failed, Marrow. It's time that you face the music. And the Marrow laughs. You fools. Don't you see that you've fallen into my trap? This courtroom does not cease until a guilty or not guilty verdict is delivered. And no matter what, seconds after it happens, I'm going to unleash my great power on all of you, and you are all far too weak to take anything I could throw at you. If you continue this trial, it will be your death sentence. So, what's the move? Go ahead, end this trial, call for a verdict, then I will strike you all down in one fell swoop.
We just ask them a puzzle and then run away.
Could we trap him in a puzzle space?
You could try anything you would like to try.
Justin, what's your hardest puzzle?
That's well. I have a puzzle for you.
And the marrow is now drawn into your puzzle space, and it's like, ugh. This delay tactic will solve nothing.
Will it?
Is that the puzzle?
No. The puzzle is this. I am the beginning of everything, the end of everywhere. I'm the beginning of eternity, the end of time and space.
God damn it.
A little kind of confetti goes over the Marrow's head as you both fly back out of this place. And the Marrow says, well, looks like we've reached a verdict. Not guilty. And Bluebell's like, yay. And suddenly confetti flies from the audience. You have no idea who's making it or who's throwing it or who's being so unable to read the room right now. But as second as it starts falling and the cheering starts happen, the Marrow flips the stand that he's standing up, cracks his big knuckles. You see it's this big sort of meaty shark-like body. And he says, come to my aid. Come and finish them! And suddenly a tentacle smashes through the ground. Then another one.
Oh no.
Then another one. And the entire courthouse is ripped asunder as you see he has summoned the deadly and mighty Kraken that now stands gigantically over all of you. What are you all doing?
This isn't what I expected.
You hear Edge Surf yell, objection! And like the objection just bounces off.
Can we charge him?
If you want.
Can we? The Kraken
I mean,
a
not
summon?
charge isn't physically. I mean, like.
What was that
charge him
question,
with the
Rosalind?
crime.
Is the Kraken a summon?
You notice on one of the Kraken's tentacles, there is a special glyph exactly the same as the one that you yourself carry, a summon. Which means that this Kraken is likely recruitable by the Lightsworn heroes, and likely was until they disappeared, which means that this Kraken was just like you. This Kraken was lost and alone and abandoned and left, and probably doesn't even know what they're doing or kind of just latching onto the first person that exuded power over them.
You don't have to listen! And I show my hand. That is
Okay.
glowing too.
Alright, you show it, the massive tentacles that come writhing and ready to destroy all of you stop. And you see this big, beautiful eye blink, a single blink.
We don't have to listen ever again. The heroes are gone. And our choices are our own, and we can go where we want, and we can do what we want, and we can become who we want. We are no longer just a summon of someone else. You don't have to listen if you don't want to.
That's beautiful. Roll whatever you think is appropriate, and go ahead and add a 2, a free +2 as a bonus. As you pour your heart out to this summonable Kraken.
I feel like I was kind of forceful. Like I was
Yeah, sure.
forcing my opinion.
Sounds great. Yeah, that makes sense. Very much if you stand up to a Kraken, that's quite forceful. Okay, so a
Yeah.
total of 5 so far. You can still invoke if you would like to.
Okay. I'm gonna use my high concept. Can you? It's an aspect. A fairy summon who is far from home because
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, go ahead and spend a fate point for that, and I will get one in return. One day I'll remember to actually spend these against you all, but not today, because this is too cool. You kind of yell this out to the Kraken, who kind of stops, and you notice like a sort of a wateriness to its massive, beautiful eye. Meanwhile, the Marrow standing kind of at its base, holding some kind of like action menu screen, is like, what's the matter with this thing? Typhoon attack! Typhoon attack! Come on! And the Kraken turns ever so slightly, and one of the tentacles grabs the Marrow. He's like, oh, how dare you! I control you! You can't do this to me! Another tentacle, and then another one, and then crushed and exploded into a shower of fireworks and glitter and crystals and other sorts of particle effects that have no reason being there, as the Marrow is utterly obliterated by his own Kraken. And with that, you have saved the sunken city.
Holy cow!
And Bluebell is there just like, I'm off the hook, right? I'll pay the library fee or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah,
Okay.
Let's just give back the books. Just
Okay. And yeah, you can see that Seth is looking at all of you and just in absolute awe, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you were just amazing investigators, but you're heroes,
no,
Oh no.
no, we're not heroes. We're just people, just like you.
sorcerers, swordfish, you're heroes."
Oh boy.
Oh no, you're not learning the lesson.
And everybody like cheers out and proclaims an incredible victory by these new mysterious heroes who have emerged, and you are lifted and paraded through the streets of the sunken city.
Wait, hold on. I need my postal bag. I still haven't found my postal bag.
You quickly jump down and like look through just the absurd amount of confetti and particle systems, and within you notice there is a shining canvas bag.
I grab it.
You do a little spin, ba-da-da-doop, and you have acquired your mail bag once again, and you have all the letters returned as well.
Wonderful! Look, they're addressed letters. Oh, I never thought I'd see these again. Thank you
Um,
for
Did it? You found them all.
getting these back, and also not die, whatever that thing was.
You notice there's one last thing in your mail bag that shouldn't really be there. It is a very large, sort of indigo blue glowing orb. And weirdly, it's addressed to Stoobs.
Oh, it looks like I have a new package to deliver. It says to Stoobs. Where? Right in front of you.
I take it. Thank you.
And you add the water elemental orb to your elemental orb collection, granting you now 3 out of 7 of the mighty artifacts. And there's a bit of bureaucracy that happens following. Some of the guards come in and say, "Hey, so you're free to go. Thanks for helping. We got a courthouse to fix."
Well, if you're doing some renovations, I have an idea.
They say, "Seriously, our pneumatic system is so efficient, we don't need to go back to the old ways." But still, thank you.
A little piece of Justin's heart breaks.
And Seth accompanies you back out to the city, back out onto the outskirts, where there is effectively a launch pad. There's a giant bubble lift, and he says, "Well, I guess this is where you can head back to the surface again. It was so nice meeting all of you. I just..."
Come back and visit. We'll see you again.
Oh, geez, really?
Yeah.
Oh, lunge and sponges, that would be great.
Just remember, if you ever miss me, you can always send me a letter.
Send you a letter. Yeah, I can. Oh, boy. Oh, geez. Oh, great. Well, it was so nice meeting all of you. Thanks for showing me how to solve puzzles properly. And I'm going to keep trying to become the best investigator I can. Yes, sir.
You got this. Just remember that the world isn't what it was. You can make it your own.
Okay, I'll try to remember that. Thank you, Rosalind.
Of course.
Well, I'm gonna miss this place, even though it has no post.
I pat Justin on the back.
Hey, Justin,
Yes?
could you maybe come over here for a minute? I have a postal problem that I need you to solve.
Of course. What is it?
Okay, I just pull him away. It's like, so I want to give Rosalind a letter, but I can't write because I'm a dog. Could you help me write a letter and then give it to her?
Of course. And Justin's going to pull out an empty envelope, a piece of paper, and a pen.
Okay,
That's all been waterproofed
amazing.
because of the Great Flood.
Yes, great and terrible flood.
So I would like to say, Dear Rosalind,
Would you like to do this now, or do it off stream to give to Rosalind later?
yes. So I will send you what I...
Okay. Sounds
I'm going
good.
to write.
So Stoobs writes something, and you get it ready to deliver, Justin, and you say your final farewells. And Bluebell's kind of like standing by the lift, like, "Let's go! I don't want to be here anymore." And you all step onto the bubble lift, and you are shot up into the sky. Thank goodness pressure isn't a thing in this world. As you are hurtling further and further and further towards the surface, you see the light of the sun glistening on the water's surface, and you are all jettisoned out, breathing true air once again as all your bubbles pop. And while you all kind of like start to fall back down into the water, Justin just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going and keeps going and going and going.
Bye.
Bye!
And with a twinkle in the sky, bing, and a tip of the cap, Justin is gone, and you feel the presence of a rift bleed as Justin is returned to the lovely and charming town of Mystery Shoe, back where they came from. That leaves you, Rosalind and Stoobs, momentarily floating on the surface of the ocean. Bluebell is there too, and you all kind of like look up at the sky and see that the first stars of the evening are starting to emerge, and that is where we will end tonight's session. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us for this episode of Awakened Pixels. Thank you so much to Spooks for joining us, blessing us with the wonderful post
Thank you. I
work
had so
at
much
Justin.
fun.
I'm so glad. Thank you for your puzzles and everything else. I hope everybody had fun. Great, another episode in the bag. Anybody got any announcements they would like to do before we depart?
Okay. Hello, it's time for my regularly scheduled programming. So, everything's kind of rough right now for a lot of people. But luckily for everyone, there's, some great community centers that are still out there doing good work, including libraries. So, libraries are reopening, respect the rules that they're putting out there. We are here for you to use our services. We really try to help people, and we love to see your smiling faces. Support your local libraries however you can. We really appreciate anything that you can do. Support the post office and support your local artists
very
and musicians
right now.
Yes.
It's so funny because we've been doing the post office spiel for like the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
And then,
Respect your post office, respect your libraries, respect your museums.
Yes.
and then we advertised it in game 2 now. It's very important. It's very important.
Very
Don't let
timely.
sorcerers take it over, guys.
No, certainly not. Absolutely not. Was that everything?
Register to vote.
Yes, please do that,
Yes.
everybody. Our music was provided by Roll Music on the album The Black Dot, Visager on the albums Song from an Unmade World and Song from an Unmade World 2, and Eric's gift from Resistor Anthems, and a little bit of me going and that can all be found on the freemusicarchive.org under the license CC BY, and that is everything that I have for the evening. Unless there's anything else, we will all say good
Stay
evening from
safe.
me, at the very least. Yeah, stay safe. Hang in there. Do whatever you can. And we will be back with more Awakened Pixels and a new guest next week. Don't miss it. Who knows what realms we'll traverse next time. Alright, take care, everybody. Farewell. Bye.